What's going on, everybody? Hope you're 186, Traditionalist 101, and we are the Overrated Podcast. This is episode 135. Steve, what's going on?
Yeah. Oh man, my freaking mic stand fell. Yeah, Traditionalist 101 is here. Give me 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Traditionalist. Oh my gosh. All right, take over real quick. My freaking mic stand.
All
Hang on.
right, so while Steve fixes that, thank you guys for joining us here this evening. We got a big show today. Hopefully, it won't take too long, but we do have a lot of topics to discuss, including the NBA playoffs, our favorite time of year. The NBA playoffs are here. We have a lot of good stuff to talk about. We have we're gonna talk about some games and some hot takes on some of these games.
Mm-hmm.
But first, well, I mean, how was your weekend, by the way?
No, yeah, weekend. Let me see. Weekend was good. Once again, big shout out to Big James. We went over to his house. It was me and shout out to Shermaine. He also was with us. When he came into town. And once again, my apologies. Like I know he wanted to do something at Dave and Buster's, and I kind of fell asleep. And then once I woke up and I hit him up, it was pretty much too late. So I feel bad about that. But I picked him up. We went to Big James. Shout out to him like once again. It was fun. You know, yeah, it was a good time. It was a good time, man. He's gonna have another get together next week. This Friday and Saturday, I believe, and I will try to attend both days. Are you going?
I'm going Friday. Friday, definitely going Friday because that's my day off. I'm probably not gonna be able to go Saturday, but yeah, we'll make it. When I'm there, we'll have some fun. So,
Yeah,
all
yeah.
right,
Yeah,
yeah.
so overall, yeah, my weekend was definitely good. And what else did I do? Obviously, Sunday is my church day, and yeah, so it was great, great service. Also, definitely felt the Holy Spirit in the service, and yeah, and I got to relax the rest of the day. And now we are here. Now your turn. How was your weekend, man?
Pretty much, it's the same old, same old. But there is something that happened that we do need to talk about.
Okay, and let me also share because I need to give a quick shout out. With this, I'm not gonna show you every single one of these because I think I have I think I have about like 20 or 30. But I'm only gonna show like the top seven. And these I purchased some comics over the weekend. And we have oh crap, I don't think you can see it. Hold on, let me change the background real quick. Let me change it. Maybe let's see if this works. No,
No, you're gonna have to turn it off completely.
shut it off completely.
Yeah.
All right, so we have Alien. I'm a huge Alien fan, and when it comes to Alien, bro, like there was a lot of betrayals. As I'm reading the Alien series, like people are just betraying each other. This chick named Cole, she pretty much used her whole entire squad as bait, and then she takes off, and everybody else pretty much gets destroyed and annihilated, from the alien. So that was just crazy. It was definitely an enjoyable read. We have Power Rangers versus Godzilla. That's I haven't read that one yet, but I've been hearing some good things about it. I also got Ninja Turtles. April O'Neil, shout out. That's how April actually supposed to look like. Yeah, right. We got I got Action Comics, Superman, aka Superman, and obviously yeah, I gotta have my Batman. I gotta have my Batman. So that's definitely really really good. World's finest, Batman and Superman. This is Mark Waid is just phenomenal. Like the artwork on here, to me, I don't know. I don't care what anybody says. Like he is one of the best when it comes to drawing these characters. Like I just absolutely love his art style. And now for to save the best for last, I got Street Fighter, and unfortunately, although I'm happy that I got this new Street Fighter title because it's pretty much Akuma versus Ryu. The only issue that I have is I don't like the art style.
Hmm.
I can't stand the art style. When I see art styles like this, I can't enjoy the book.
Well, do me a favor. Open the page and let me see like a better illustration, better way to look at it.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't like the art style?
To me, it just looks. I don't know, man. It just. I don't know. I don't know what's the name of of this type of art style. I try to do my research when it comes to the name of each of these art, how these art's supposed to look like. And I don't know, like it's just to me, this type of artwork, it feels like there's just so much going on. Like it's just too chaotic, in my opinion. Like I feel like they need to keep it simple. Like it's just too much color, in my opinion. And I'm just like, and I'm not gonna be like those other people that say, well, if the artwork is not good, I'm not going to read it. I'm not going to go as far, but that's because I'm biased. This is Street Fighter we're talking about here. This is to me, this is how the artwork's supposed to look like. Let me show you. Like this is the one I bought a few years ago. The art style. Let me turn a couple pages. Like, look. Do you see how clean the art style look?
Yeah.
It looks like an actual Street Fighter book when I read this.
You can also make a case that it looks more boring.
How so?
Like it looks more boring. I'm not saying that. I'm saying some people might say that.
You think it looks boring? It looks like an actual Street Fighter comic book. Like they look exactly like they look in the game.
All right, but it don't look as good. It don't look as exciting as the other comic book.
Oh,
It has a much more plain look to it.
come on, bro! Like, don't you see how clean and crisp the comic the art style looks like? Like, look how it is.
I get it.
I just like mines to be clean and simplistic. I mean, I know that's to you maybe that sounds boring, but
No. I don't care either way. I'm just saying that maybe some comic book fans prefer the more stylized look.
like see like this is just too much. Like you how tell me how you find this to be exciting.
I don't know. It looks more like other comic books I've seen before.
But this one?
Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm. I don't know. And last but not least, I have X-Men 97. X-Men 97. And obviously you all know the series is going on, and I'm not gonna lie to you, the series actually have been really good. The only episode I really did not enjoy was the third one. I didn't really I wasn't really feeling it was either the third one or the fourth one. I wasn't really able to enjoy it that much. But oh my gosh, man. Like it's just been crazy, crazy, crazy. Like people losing their powers. Freaking they killed off Gambit, dude. That pissed me off, bro.
You are you
That-
really gonna spoil it for everybody?
Wait, what?
Are you spoiling it for people?
I'm pretty sure everybody saw it by now.
All right. You can't assume that.
All right, so then I guess I won't say anything else. But that was a very big deal, to me. A part of me felt like they wanted to just increase, I guess shock value to some degree. 'Cause I just felt like, man, was it really necessary, for you to do that? Like, was it really necessary for you to do that to my boy Gambit? I mean, that really took me off. But I was definitely shocked, and I'm definitely looking forward to see what happens next. But man, dude, it's just been a wild ride. Have you been watching any episodes yet?
Like I was gonna I said I was gonna wait until all the episodes were released so I can binge watch it. But if I get time tomorrow, I'll probably start watching from tomorrow and then go on from there.
Did you do this when you would watch regular cartoons? on like Saturday morning cartoons.
There's no way I could because we didn't have streaming.
I mean, I don't. Well, yeah, that's true. I forgot about that, dude. I'm so used to streaming. I completely forgot we didn't have it back then.
Yeah,
Why are you using that tactic for? I need you need to explain to me why you want to wait till the series is over.
because so I can watch it. One I don't want to wait. I don't want to wait a week between episodes. I'd rather just binge watch it. Two at a time, three at a time, or whatnot. That's kind of how I watch like shows now. Like if I'm invested in a show or a series, that's
Mhm.
how I would prefer to watch it.
Well, if you want to be technical, you're playing the waiting game now, technically.
Yeah, but at least I'm not consuming the product and then have to wait. I rather just watch it one by one
Hmm.
until the end.
Okay.
I rather
All right.
do it that way.
All right. Well, I mean, I actually appreciate you giving your opinion. With the comics, especially when it comes to Street Fighter. Like, I'm surprised that you actually like the wild and crazy, colorful, chaotic look. But I mean, if you think that one looks fine, then that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. But I appreciate your opinion. All right,
Mhm.
we can move on to the actual meat and potatoes here.
All right. So Malta's in the chat. What's going on, man? He said that he received his first communion. So I guess congratulations to you.
Oh, it's not. I guess. Congratulations, Malta. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. I experienced communion before, a way to not mimic, but to have an experience of breaking bread and having communion with our fellow believers and with Jesus Christ. So yes, it's definitely a good thing.
Okay. So UFC 300 was Saturday. Now we didn't watch. We didn't watch. Right. Normally for like big shows we would actually watch, but I guess I forgot. I mean the card was stacked. They had a great card. It just I don't know. I just forgot, and I we I it just I just didn't feel like making the effort to watch it. You know to watch it, right? But and that was automatically a mistake because apparently we missed a great card and one of the great knockouts of all time.
Oh,
Now, I can't. I don't think we can show it.
really?
I don't think we can.
Hmm.
Let me see. Yeah, even if I do like a off camera thing, it's not you. What's going on here? Now my computer is acting dumb. Okay, it just unfroze. But even if I could show you like something like a fan reaction, it does not do the knockout justice. Right? It was Max Holloway versus Justin Gaethje. It was in the final 10 seconds of the fight. Pretty much Max Holloway, he's telling Justin Gaethje, "Hey, stand right here. Let's start banging. Let's start firing shots at each other." Now, mind you, Max Holloway was winning the fight anyway. So for him to take this risk and just be like, "All right, let's do it right here. Let's do stand your ground laws in the cage
Hmm.
with Justin Gaethje," and then ended up knocking him out a second before the final bell is one is it to me is the greatest knockout in the history of MMA.
You sure you can't at least show? Because I'm pretty sure. I guarantee you, somebody like videotaped it like with their camera. You don't get copyrighted for stuff like that.
No, no, but the thing is that the way that the can I don't think I haven't seen a view as good as what they showed in the live broadcast,
Hmm.
and you have to see the exchanges. I mean UFC. I mean UFC put it on their Twitter account, but I don't know if we can show it. That's the thing
Crap, man.
because UFC don't play when it comes to their copyrights.
Okay.
But it was a crazy KO. And then the main event, Alex Pereira, he retained his light
Before
heavy.
you
No, hmm.
before you go to the main event, can you at least describe how he got knocked out since you can't show it?
Pretty much they were throwing hands, and then I think Holloway threw a right hook, and I mean the Gacy just fell down.
A right hook. Mm.
I think it was the right hook. Just flattened him, and then Pereira retained his light heavyweight title by beating Jamal Hill in the main event, and he said that he wants to go up to heavyweight. Now,
What?
mind you, yeah, he wants to go up to heavyweight. Now, mind you, he won the middleweight title from Izzy. He then won the light heavyweight title, and now he wants to move up to fight the heavyweight champion.
Oh my goodness.
If they give it now, I don't think they're gonna give him the fight. But if they do and he wins the title, he'll be the first guy in UFC history to win a title in 3 weight classes.
Oh my goodness. Okay, you got to give me your opinion on that. You think he should do it? Like, do you think he stand a chance?
I don't think so, but I I don't know, man. I'm just gonna say no, even though you know. I mean, if he does it, am I gonna be surprised? No.
Wow. Wow. Well, I mean, like if he does that, moving up all the way, to heavyweight, like
I mean,
three
he's a big dude. Anyway.
yeah, but three, weight classes, I think that's just too big, man. I think that's just too big. I don't think he'll stand a chance. I
Yeah,
don't see it. I
yeah.
really don't.
But shout out to James. He's in the chat. How you doing, bro? All
Yeah, Big
right.
James. Once again, yeah, big shout out to you. Yeah, I'm definitely am down. For next week, we're gonna definitely get some games going. Dude, I was playing him, with DNF duel. I'm not gonna lie to you. At first, I wasn't really feeling the game. The week before I played, but as I started to play the game more and more and more, even though I was getting my butt kicked most of the time, I finally actually got like 2 wins. But the game is actually fun. The game is actually fun. Like it, I had asked James, is it similar to like how it is with Smash Brothers, where you push the directional button with the attack button, and it's somewhat similar to that. Like you don't really use that many inputs like you would on a Marvel versus Capcom game or Street Fighter game. You know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of simplistic, but you got to do your best to put everything together. It has to be uniform, if that makes sense. Like they have their regular attacks and then they
Yeah.
have their special attacks and whatnot. So it's very good. I'm actually looking forward to play that game again if we get a chance. So once again, big shout out to James.
Okay. So 300 happened.
Yeah, trust me,
It was
James.
a
Yeah, as long.
great event, and it got me reminded.
Oh no, go ahead.
Okay. Let me.
My bad.
No, no. You can say what you gotta say.
Oh, okay, yeah. He said as long as you're learning, you eventually get better. There's a system, to everything. No, I'm actually planning on buying the game. I actually really did enjoy myself. I just didn't. I didn't. I always had a feeling that the game was going to be enjoyable. I just forget about it. I just completely forgot about it. And people don't really make any noise when it comes to tournaments, when it comes to DNF Duel. You don't have that many participants, within the tournaments, from what I've noticed, especially when you compare it to other, fighting games. But I am planning on putting that on my list, so I will get the game. Well, my bad, Ruby, go ahead.
Okay. So um after UFC 300 happens, and it got me wondering. We were supposed to talk about this last week, and this is a good time to talk about it. Ronda Rousey. Now she has a new book coming out, and she is putting a blowtorch to WWE and Vince McMahon like you wouldn't believe.
Hmm.
Like she's shitting on the company. She's shitting on Vince McMahon. She's shitting on some of his confidants, all that other stuff, right? So she got a lot to say about them. But she is making the internet the rounds as far as like doing interviews and stuff like that, and she's now reflecting on what happened to her the night she fought Holly Holm.
Yeah.
Now we were at the L House when this fight happened.
Oh yes. It was a big group
it
of
was
us.
one
We
of
were
the
all there.
craziest. Yeah, it was one of the craziest moments that I think I've ever experienced as a fan of mixed martial arts.
Yeah.
It is like it was. And now, mind you, this was around the time Ronda Rousey was arguably the biggest draw in the company. Arguably the biggest draw in the company, right?
Hmm.
Just all her paper like we every pay per view she headlined we watched
Yes.
because it was big time, right? She is the when it comes to mixed women's MMA, there is no where it is now is not there without her. Not like that goes without saying.
Hmm.
Her her impact in women's MMA can never be diminished. But what I'm gonna read to you right here from this interview she did. Hmm?
Yeah. I want to say something real quick because
Go ahead, go ahead.
I'm trying to remember who was the last guy, the last guy that were able to have a huge attention draw, like Ronda Rousey. And the only person that you could think of is maybe Conor McGregor,
No,
and
it is.
maybe
It is Conor.
yeah, Conor McGregor, or I would even say Brock Lesnar was up there. But if I remember correctly, I think we watched every single Brock Lesnar fight also. If
Yeah,
I'm if I remember
yeah,
correctly, and
but
yeah,
but
go ahead.
I would argue the two biggest draws in UFC history is Ronda and and Connor.
Okay,
I mean, you could put GSP is up there too. Um, but those
Anderson
those
Silva.
are the two that I think of. Uh, I don't know if I put him quite at that category. When it comes to greatest of all time, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, okay,
But when it comes to like actually draw, like a drawing power, I would say Ronda and Connor.
okay.
But after you read this, you're going to see why there's a lot of people who don't like this woman, and they wouldn't be unjustified in doing so. So let me go to the article real quick.
Hmm.
Yeah, my computer's like my computer's acting stupid. Like I'm okay. There we go. All right, Ronda Rousey was considered the greatest women's mixed martial artist to ever live during her height in the sport. The judo specialist looked unstoppable, boasting a 12-0 record heading into her bout with Holly Holm. But the UFC 193 headliner was the beginning of the end for her career in the sport. Rowdy would suffer a devastating head kick loss less than a minute into the second round, losing her undefeated streak in women's bantamweight title in the process. Although it occurred over 8 years ago, Ronda Rousey has now detailed exactly why she believes she lost on that night. So, mind you, so for those of you who don't know, she lose like before the fight, after everything up to that point between her and Holly was cordial, right? Everything was nice. They're complimentary of each other. And then at the stare down, they get into a little tussle. Like they don't fight, but they get into a little tussle. Ronda Rousey had a lot of things to say about her, calling her fake and all the other crap, and just really shitting on her in a way that was just it was weird because they up to that point they showed nothing but respect to each other.
And there was a point where she was in her interview, like one of those talk shows, where she was so confident saying, "Oh, it doesn't matter. She's gonna lose." Like completely disregarded her as a fighter. I don't know if I forgot what show it was, but it was one of those late night
Yeah.
shows.
No, you said that she was not gonna get caught with like a head kick or whatever, and then she got caught with a head kick. It was crazy. But even with all that, right? They were still respectful of each other up until that point. That's what and like you said, she after she lost, she essentially disappeared. Like I think she probably did like a movie or something like that. but she didn't talk. She didn't talk about it. She
Yeah.
didn't talk about it until now. All right. So recent reports are suggesting that Ronda had been suffering from concussions throughout her UFC career, and she has now spoken about her struggles in a recent interview. Now this is Rousey talking. I was so done fighting after that loss to Holly Holm. I had so many concussions. I literally couldn't take a jab without getting a concussion at that point. I got to the point where I was just neurologically wasn't fit to fight anymore. I'd given everything I had until my body and mind started to fall apart. And when I couldn't give anything anymore, they hated me for it. So she's talking about the fans. I felt like I had to come back for another fight because I felt like I owed it to the fans and everyone that believed in me. Maybe I needed to give them an example of overcoming adversity. It was to the point where the next fight, the first time I got touched, I was out on my feet. It was so hard because I never been faster, never been stronger, never had a better grasp of the game. I never been so much better than everyone else. Is there anything else here? Your brain doesn't callous. It didn't heal back stronger after a break. It just an inevitable decline, and I couldn't keep fighting at that level anymore. She later insists that that said brain injury, along with a faulty mouth guard, cost her the fight against Holly Holm. This is Ronda again. My mouth guard was bad. I literally came into the fight concussed from slipping down some stairs already after all those years of concussions. Then I had an absolute terrible weight cut, which means you have less fluid in your brain to protect it. I was trying to make it look like I wasn't hurt, but I wasn't there cognitively. I couldn't think as fast. I couldn't judge distance. I just from that one fight everything felt like, oh, she's a fraud. So that's pretty much. I mean she has more here. Let me read this, I guess.
Yeah.
I knew that I'm the greatest fighter that has ever lived, Ronda claimed. But when I got to the point where I just taken so much neurological damage that I couldn't take it anymore, suddenly everything that I accomplished meant nothing. So then after that second fight, and I saw how all the people that I was coming back to fight for had suddenly turned against me, all of my appreciation for them turned into resentment, and I didn't want to have anything to do with them and with them anymore. So I guess she's referring to the fans. I didn't want to do anything for them anymore because I had given them everything that I had, and they hated me for not being able to give them more. According to Rousey, her reasoning for not disclosing her problems much sooner was solely to protect her career. I think people would have thought I was just making excuses. Damage done, homegirl. And I couldn't say anything after the first fight because I literally just be putting a target on my head. After the second fight, I didn't want to say anything to anyone because we're just trying to sensationalize everything and chop everything up into a headline. They weren't trying to help me tell my story, and that is the kind of thing I think that could only have been told in a book, only in that long form because there was just so much that happened and so much that went into at the time. Let me see. Is there anything else here?
She said
Okay,
something about
everything
this.
else is going. Okay, I'll read it. Then I also wanted to go into WWE that they had a very complicated history with concussions and CTE and things like that. And if they knew how bad it was, I don't think they would have ever have hired me. If they knew that I was getting concussions from an open hand slap from Stephanie McMahon or Nikki Bella, they wouldn't allow me to perform. So I had to keep those things to myself, to keep my destiny in my hands, and to be able to make my own decisions. Because if my coach or Dana knew how bad things had gotten, they would have made me retire, and I wasn't ready. And that's pretty much it for that portion of the interview. Um, this last part, I don't buy this at all. They would have made her retire if they knew the concussions were that bad. I don't buy that.
Neither do
I
I.
don't buy that. Now, here's my thing. This is the reason why people don't like her. When you lose, like there's no shame in losing. All the greatest fighters of all time, a lot of them lose. Muhammad Ali lost. Mike Tyson lost. George St. Pierre lost. Anderson Silva loses.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? A lot of people lose. It is what it is.
Pacquiao even got knocked out. Yeah.
Yeah. Pacquiao got knocked out. Very few of them end their careers on a high note. The difference between them and most of them and her is when she lost, she couldn't handle it. Now remember when she lost to Holly Holm, she disappeared. Like
Completely.
I said, and even when she was doing interviews, she did not want to talk about what happened with Holly Holm. She didn't want to talk about it. And and she said something about how they didn't allow me to tell her story. How can you tell your story if you're not talking to anybody? Because when Amanda Nunes won the title and they made the fight between her and Ronda throughout the whole time did no media, no media.
Mm-hmm.
So you had a comeback of a pioneer in women's MMA. You're out of the sport for like a year or two, and you come back and they allow you to do no media at all.
And let me remind you, I'm pretty sure you already you know, but just to say for everybody else, keep in mind that the sports media was still amping her up. She was the one that they kept on talking about over and over and over, and Manu Nunes didn't like that. I remember a quote where she said, "Well, I understand what she has done for the business, but I'm the one that's the champion right here. I'm the champion, not her." And the fact that she's getting all of this recognition, all of this attention, more than the champion, yeah, I know for a fact that Mana Nunes wasn't happy about that. She wasn't happy about that, and she has every right to be upset over it. So, for Ronda Rousey to say all of this nonsense, and the reason why I say nonsense is because if you remember, after she lost and then after she disappeared, you just read a statement where she said, "Oh, she didn't have an opportunity, to tell her story." Well, wait a second. You said that you didn't want to talk about the fight. If you were going to tell everybody that wants to interview that I'm not going to talk about the fight, how can you give yourself an opportunity to tell the story in the first place if you don't want to talk about it? She pretty much contradicted herself. It's all lies. It's all lies. She probably didn't catch herself. So for you to say, "Well, I didn't get an opportunity," you didn't want an opportunity because you were too embarrassed that you got destroyed. Because let me tell you something happened now. 'Cause I don't know if you remember the fight completely. Holly Holmes was dominating from beginning to finish. Beginning to finish, Holly Holmes.
I don't know if I go that far, but she established her game plan early. But even with all that, Ronda Rousey still had opportunities to close her in, and she even took her down at one point. But what happened? Holly got back up.
Mhm.
Holly got back up, and I think that kind of messed Ronda up to the point where, like, I remember when they got back up, Holly was still, she was still calm, cool, collected. I mean, Ronda's huffing and puffing.
Yep.
She's tired because up to that point, she had never fought any girl who had that technical amount of striking. She ain't never faced a woman who had that level of like precise striking.
Yeah, and someone who ain't
You
Holly
had
Holmes.
girls.
Oh, my bad, my bad. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I like all I was gonna say was that she had so much endurance She didn't look tired. Like you said, her striking was definitely precise, and her defense was just flawless. I remember there was a point in time where they were on the clinch. I think Ronda was trying to flip her like her traditional flipping move, and then she tries to go into the armbar. She tries to do that with Holly, and it didn't work. And to me, I think it flustered Ronda Rousey because it threw all of her game plan out the door, and it felt like she just didn't know what to do anymore. But you could go ahead.
Okay. I forgot where I was at, but I'll read. Let me read comments. Malta said that I didn't watch the fight, but I heard about her about 8 years ago. James says RR literally sounds like a lot of boxers I used to hear about when I was younger. When it comes to her injuries, Hoovy, if I think y'all keep forgetting that she's a woman. You literally compared her losing to men, and that brings about a different dynamic and mindset. Granted, it's a combat sport. Just pointing that out. But here's the thing, right? You look at someone like, let's take someone who was just as dominant as she was, Amanda Nunes. Amanda Nunes is regarded as the greatest um woman fighter of all time. Ronda Rousey is the most influential. Amanda's the best. When she lost to Juliana Pena, what did she do? She accepted defeat. She got back on, trained, and then we won the title. That's not what Ronda did. Valentina Shevchenko, dom- dominant. Yeah, I would argue she's number two of greatest women's MMA fighter of all time. She lost multiple times. Some of them close fights, and she had one submission loss. What did she do? She didn't throw a pity party for herself. She strapped the boots and came right back.
Let me also add one more. Let me also add one more. I know this one is not as impactful, but once
Hmm.
Holly Holm had won that title, people was giving her plenty of recognition. I said it myself, and obviously I was wrong. I thought she was going to completely dominate the women's division for because of her precise technical striking that she's able to do because she's an actual boxer. She could box and she could box very well. And guess what? As soon as she won the title, she lost it to Misha Tate.
Hmm.
She lost
And
to
me,
Misha Tate. Did she disappear? No. Go ahead.
but here's the thing with Misha Tate, she lost to Ronda twice. One time Ronda broke her arm. The other time she lost, but she had gone farther against Ronda up to that point. Because up to that point, Ronda was finishing girls in one round. Misha went
Yep.
3 rounds with her, and then even at the end, and these two women hate each other. They hate each other. But Misha, even in defeat, offered her hand, and Ronda just dismissed her. Now I'm not shitting on Ronda for doing that, but you see how even men or women or whatever, you either handle yourself losing as a winner or as a loser. And the way that Ronda Rousey she can't handle losing. She just can't handle it.
And
Maybe yeah.
oh, my bad, my bad. Go ahead.
Okay, like maybe the way she handles it is different because she's in her situation, but her gender is not one of those reasons. Because every other woman that I can think of that have lost in MMA, they handle their losses like a champion. They take the losses on the chin, and Ronda didn't do that.
Yeah, and let me say this because I understand where you're coming from, James. Women are are much more emotional than men are. It's obviously scientifically proven, etc., etc. I get that, but you don't want to create a habit or start a trend to where these women start losing and then they just disappear from the sport. You don't want that. You don't want that. She was the one who decided to go and participate in UFC and MMA fighting. She was the one that started, talking trash, to Holly Holmes. She lost and she disappeared. That's on her. All of that is on her. And I'm sorry, when you lose, you do the best you can to get back up, get your vengeance, get your revenge, whatever term that you like to use, and win. And what happened? She disappeared the second time when she lost against Nunez. The second time. So I can't accept that reasoning from you, James, because everybody else has done the exact opposite. It was on the contrary to everybody else who was either dominant, who became champion, and yet they still were able to remain in the UFC and not disappear for a year like Ronda Rousey did. Like, I'm sorry, that's unacceptable to me, especially with all the trash
And
talking.
even
That's
if she
unacceptable.
disappeared, and even with the disappearing, right? You come back and you do no media interviews at all, none. And I mean, this is a huge indictment on UFC. They allowed her to do it, and then I remember her saying one time when if she had won the fight against Amanda Nunes, then she would have started talking to media. Oh, not only when you win is when you start talking to media.
You gotta be kidding me! I didn't even know about
Uh,
that.
yeah, I was like, yeah. Look, and let me finish up with what let me finish up what James said. He said the fact that she had those injuries and said nothing on it might have some reality. Who knows? Steve, people need time to digest and reflect on what they want to talk about. I've lost attorneys and didn't want to talk to people for months, and even more so, not about the attorney. It takes time. I no, and I get it to open up the discussion. I get it, but part of your job as a mixed martial artist in the UFC is that you do media. No one should get special treatment, regardless of who they are. If you're sitting there talking about, oh, I want people to know my story and all the other stuff, you're not doing that being silent, not doing media. You don't do it like that. And then 8 years later, when you have a book to promote, now you want to talk about how you want to come up with these excuses when you come to fighting Holly Holm. Here's the facts of the matter: everything she said may be true, but at the end of the day, you went inside that octagon. You were in there. If you're in there, all the excuses now go out the window. And
Then
if you lose, you lose. Period. And the way that
yeah.
you handle losing,
Mhm.
no, go ahead.
Oh, what I was gonna say is, if she had came up with an excuse and say that, hey, I'm hurt, I can't fight in this match, I guarantee you, although many people would have been disappointed, we all would have understood because
Yeah,
you were dominating, you were dominating, and all of us would have just asked questions. Oh, wait a minute, she's been winning. Everybody believes that she was going to win against Holly Holmes. Maybe something is going on, with her body. Let's have her take the time that she need. We all would have understood because you didn't even lose yet. So there's no reason for us to assume that you're lying about your injury. You could have easily taken your time, but you chose not to do that. You decided to go into the octagon and you lost instead of being instead of trying to face your fears and whatnot. You decided to run away, and of course, people are not going to respect you for running away. And then you talk. I mean, this is besides the point, but you talk trash about another company that decides to take you in. I mean, like, people just don't have no respect for you. They would have no respect for you. You lost movie deals after all the losses that you had, and instead of trying to bounce back, you leave again. So no, I'm sorry. I cannot have sympathy, for somebody who is only able to talk to the media, who only wants to, tell her story only when she's winning. No, I'm sorry. I can't go by that. I'm sorry. I can't.
I, what was I gonna say? Like honestly, like okay, let me read this. All right, so James said that Ronda might have done her stuff in poor taste, but y'all know I cite more. than one source with stuff, but y'all would know better than me. I'm only speaking on the mindset. Even champions have. All right, let's wait for him to finish. Have different ways of handling situations. You say no one should get special treatment, but you know in entertainment that's out in the forefront. I get it, but the problem is, James, is that every fighter has an obligation at the very least to promote the fight. It's the least you can do. You don't have to be great at it. You know what I mean? But she didn't do no media whatsoever, none whatsoever. And I get it. People handle things differently, but that doesn't mean that I have to like the way they handle things.
Correct.
The way she handles everything that happened after she lost, she handled it poorly, and I don't like the way that she handled it. I understand it's her right to handle it the way that she wants to handle it, but I didn't like it. 'Cause it showed a lack of professionalism, and it showed a lack of accountability. It's that simple. If after you lose, you want to take time off, that's perfectly fine. But then you come back, you decide, oh, I'm not gonna do no media unless I win. That comes off as somebody who's a poor winner, who's a sore loser. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't respect that because you have a lot of people who are in your position. Like I mentioned before, the Tysons, the the Ali's, all. And I'm not talking about like just the greatest. I'm talking about the people who have all the eyes on them, who had the pressure on them, like who had the weight in the world on them, and they can handle losing better than she did. And even afterwards, like even years afterwards, after the Amanda loss, she wouldn't even talk about the losses. And we're talking about years down the line, she wouldn't talk about it at all. And I'm like, it had like, and I get what James is trying to say, but you wouldn't talk about, and now you want to talk about it. Now you want to sit there and make excuses as to why you're losing. Yeah, all that stuff comes together to me, and I lose respect for her. When you add everything into it, you didn't want to talk to the media when you came back. You were a hush hush about your losses, and then now you want to talk about one of your losses, and then you want to come up with excuses about, oh, I had concussions, I had a bad mouth guard, and all the other crap. And then I mean, I don't know what her excuses was for the Amanda Nunes fight because you had it easy. You made a lot more money than she did, and while doing a lot less.
Yep.
Amanda was the one that doing interviews and stuff like that, and she still starched her ass.
That one was most certainly from beginning to finish. Complete dominance
Yeah,
in that fight. Complete dominance.
complete dominance.
And for you to come up with these excuses now, and all of a sudden you want to talk about this stuff now. Obviously, you're just doing this to promote your book. That's it. You're capping him, in my opinion. That's what you're doing. All you're doing is just trying to promote your book. That's why all of a sudden now you want to start talking about your loss and the excuses and all the other stuff. Like, nobody want to hear that stuff now. I don't want to hear about that stuff now. Like, it's been years already. You're not fighting anymore. So what's the point? What's the point of hearing this extra information now when you could have addressed it years ago? Go ahead.
But ultimately, it's the way you handle yourself and in your toughest times is what is the best judge of is the best judge of character. It's not when everything's going good. It's when everything's going bad is when you're judged. When I feel like your character is tested.
Yeah.
And listen, I'm not saying she's a bad person, but she's somebody who, when the going gets tough, you can't depend on her. Because here's the thing, her shitting on the fans or whatever, she did the same shit in WWE. After her first run in WWE, where she took time off to I guess she got pregnant or whatever. She she's going around shitting on fans, saying, "Oh, wrestling's fake" and all the other bullshit. And I'm like, girl, get over your fucking self. Seriously,
And
get
mind
over
you,
yourself.
she says all of that, but yet complained about getting slapped. It's fun. It's funny. It's funny how it's funny when you put those together. You complain about it's fake. You're going off on fans, but then you're talking about getting slapped by Stephanie McMahon. Okay, so I thought you said it was fake. You said it was fake, right? So what's the problem? It's just it's just she just can't stay consistent. She just can't. She's all over the place, man. She's all over the place. Obviously, she doesn't have anything to justify any of her actions. She was the one who was all prideful, talking crap. Which look, once again, I understand when people talk crap about each other. You're promoting the fight, and matter of fact, in any sports league, it's always has been invited. Like I've said before in the last podcast, talking trash, whether it's from other players, from other fighters, or from fans, has always been invited into sports competition. So you doing that, that's fine. You could do that. But then when you lose, you run away from everybody. You run away from the sport, who everybody gave you ample time, and then you decide not to talk to the media, and then you lose again. And what you do, you run away the second time. So of course people are not going to have respect for you. And once again, you're just doing this to promote your book, which means that I lost more respect for you, because now you're just doing this, just for the sake of money, not because you're trying to give us the ins and outs of what happened. You're just doing this for money. That's all.
All right. Do you have the bracket for the NBA playoffs?
Um, the only one I have is the one that I put on Twitter. Let me see.
Okay, go get that. I'm gonna try to fix my internet connection.
Yeah,
Because it's acting stupid. So I might be gone. So I need you to start the next topic.
that's fine. Just allow me to
Oh,
share.
wait. Let me. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Can you see it? Can you see my screen?
No. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. So I had tweeted this
You do that.
because
I'm gonna
yeah. So I tweeted this because obviously, as we all know, the playoff, not officially because we had to play in, obviously, but we could say technically, the playoff, has started, and we have our official standings, including the play in. And what I said was, while OKC is in the first seed, and I believe that Alexander should be the MVP. To me, although the numbers are really, really good, for Joker, is obviously, good for Alexander. We also mentioned, Tatum, who's also in first place, who's also in first place, and pretty much they've been dominating the East, from beginning to finish. Like I said in the last part, in the last topic, from beginning to finish, they have completely dominated the Eastern Conference. Or I should say the whole entire league. Now, if they do not give it to Alexander, they have to give it to Tatum. I would be shocked if they give the MVP, whether if it's Giannis, if it's Joker, and I remember you mentioned Luca. I think you mentioned Luca last week, and I could understand why you would mention Luca. But to me, with the impact, with how he just completely had changed. When I mean change, I mean like a complete upgrade. Like this dude is pretty much a superstar now. I mean, at least in my opinion, I think he's a superstar now, or at least he's approaching it. If he does not win MVP, it has to be Tatum. It has to be Tatum because to me, the being in first place should be the tiebreaker of who won MVP. Because I could understand that if it was like, let's say if they were in first place by like 5, 6, 7 games, you could still probably make an argument of, oh, maybe this person should win MVP or whatnot. But man, The record are identical. I can't remember what was the tiebreaker on when you have a tie, when you have a tie with another team. I can't remember what the tiebreaker is. I think within who has a better record within the conference. I think I can't remember, but the fact that he won first place in the Western Conference, he should be MVP. And if not, it has to be Tatum. Nobody else should be mentioned, for MVP. Not Joker, not Anthony Edwards, not Kawhi, not Luca, not Giannis, none of those guys. I think it should be either Tatum or Alexander. Now, Hoover, are you back yet or no?
I am back, but my computer is frozen.
Okay,
Yes.
that's fine. Do you have anything against, or do you have any objections of what I said?
Regarding uh, my fucking screen.
That he should win MVP.
No, I definitely think that your opinion is sound. I still think they're gonna give it to Luca, but I definitely understand where you're coming from.
I mean, why Luca? Why you think they should give it to him?
No, I think that he has the best overall numbers when you really think about it.
Is he number one in points per game? Right?
Mm,
I can't remember who is. I wish I remember who was, but maybe when I have time, I'll look it up. Um, so okay, so you think Luca should win MVP?
I think they're gonna give it to
Okay, who do you think who should win?
man. It's tough because this year has been pretty crazy. Man, if truth be told, I probably would give it to I don't know if I think Tatum should win, but he also that team's also stacked. They're a stacked team. I think Alexander has more of a shot because his team success came out of nowhere.
Hmm. Okay,
He came out of nowhere.
okay. Now let's look at the bottom. Um, so the Sacramento Kings will face the Warriors, and the Pelicans will face the Lakers. Who do you got coming out of the playing tournament?
Oh man. Honestly, I think I got the okay. So you have New Orleans and LA. I think LA.
Oh, you think LA?
But here's the thing. I well, excuse me. I think I think there's a theory coming out that I don't that neither team wants to play the Nuggets. I think whoever I think I'm back. Yeah, my computer's acting stupid again. I'm so over this shit. Regardless of it, the theory out there is that there are teams who would rather play the Thunder than the Nuggets
Okay.
because the Thunder are the youngest team to ever be a one seed. So the idea that they might be too young and that the playoff pressure might be too much for them,
Hmm.
you know, a lot of people are going with that. And I understand it because if you put a LeBron James team with Anthony Davis, now, and also let's say this, props to Anthony Davis. I think he played like 78 games this year. NBA for more than likely going to be NBA first team, either first team or second team. Definitely a contender for defensive player of the year. So props to him, big time props to him.
Yeah.
But you have those two players against an inexperienced OKC team. I don't know. I don't know if I pick OKC in that spot.
So
I don't know
you
if I
are
can pick OKC in that spot.
so what you're saying is you probably you're assuming that what happened I forgot what year it was when the Dallas Mavericks that
Hmm.
was the first seed and they lost against that Warriors team. You think the same thing could potentially happen with OKC?
Hmm.
Because frankly, are you saying that with only the Lakers, or are you saying the Pelicans could do it too?
No, no. I think the Lakers. Let me see, because like New Orleans is a good team, right? They are a good team, but I don't know if they can beat LeBron James and Anthony Davis in a one game sample. And if you're New Orleans, do I think they can beat? Because they're young, they're a younger team. I mean, they're not as young as OKC, but they're still. Think a Lakers team with the experience that they have, I think can do OKC in. But here's the thing: neither one of these teams wants to play Denver. That's a team that everybody
Right.
wants to avoid because they're the defending champion and they have the best player in the game. So so yeah, if 7-8, I got LA if they want to actually win the game. If they actually want to win. Now it would be cool to see LA win so that they can do a Western Conference Finals rematch with Denver. But you know, you never know. You never know.
Okay. I think what's going to happen is I don't know if the Lakers. Like, I see where you're coming from, but I don't think you should take that
Hmm.
risk. I don't think you should. I don't think they should take that risk because if Pelicans loses, for example, I mean if Lakers lose, they will be on the eighth seed because let's be frank. I think Lakers will easily beat the Kings or the Warriors. I don't know if you
Hmm.
agree with that, but I think they could beat the Kings or or the Warriors. I do believe that.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I don't know if I would want to take the risk of losing on purpose because then you have to win the next game, and I don't know if I want to take that risk um in a playing tournament. I don't know. I don't think that'll be a good idea for either them or the Pelicans to
No,
lose
I
on
I
purpose.
just I 100% understand where you're coming from. I definitely understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, and if you and let's say the Warriors do beat the Kings, and I'm telling you, if you allow, we've seen how Steph Curry go crazy before. If you allow that dude to go crazy, he's going to beat you. He's going to beat you if you allow Steph Curry to go crazy. And if that happens, then that team. Well, obviously they're going to lose in the first round anyway. I don't think they're going to beat OKC, but if you let that do, you know what? No, no, I actually take that back. I think the Warriors do have a chance to beat OKC because like you said, they're a very young team. They don't have any experience, and I think the same result could probably happen like when they face the Sacramento Kings. They went to I think it'll be a game seven. If the
Mhm.
Warriors play OKC, I think the Warriors win in seven.
I The only reason why I disagree there is because I don't think Golden State's that good. Past Curry, I don't think they're that good.
I see where you're coming from, but I do think the experience that they do have can be good enough, for them
Yeah,
to be such a young OKC team.
I agree with that. I just think talent wise, I think the Lakers have more talent.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah. Now let's finish this up and let's go to the East because I need to call somebody out.
Wait. Did we talk about? Okay. So yeah, we did. So you think the Kings are? You think the Golden State is going to beat Sacramento?
Yes.
Okay, that's a rematch of a first round matchup from last year. So
Yes.
yeah. All right. So yeah. All right, so let's go to the East, right?
Hmm.
Do we really have to talk about Boston? Chicago and Atlanta.
No.
Okay, fuck them. Like, who cares?
Okay. That's fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay. So since we're not gonna talk about them, all right. Sorry, guys. We're just gonna talk about the top eight now.
Let me say this. Let me say this. If Miami and the 76ers do not make it into the playoff, they should not be allowed to enter the next year's playoff.
Why are you for real?
I'm dead ass serious. There's only two bad teams of all the teams that are in the all 20 teams that are in this playoff thing. The two worst teams are Chicago and Atlanta,
Yeah.
right? And thankfully, they'll one of them will eliminate the other, and then the loser of the first game can easily dispatch the other team and get rid of those two garbage teams.
Right. Right. Oh, that's funny. I mean, that's not going to happen, but I
Yeah,
think that's because I think what you're just trying to say is it's an insult if they were to lose. Um, if one of those teams were to lose against the Chicago or Hawks team, I see what you're saying.
exactly, exactly.
I see what you're saying. Now, um, okay, so goodbye 9 and 10. Now, obviously, we have Boston, who's number one, Knicks two, Bucks three, Cavaliers four, etc. etc. I have to call a team out right now, and that team is the Bucks. They were pretty much on the second seed, pretty much throughout the whole entire season, close to the whole entire season, technically, right? Well, I should say majority of the time, they were in the second seed. All of a sudden now, as you can see, they're in the third seed now. Now you might disagree with me, but I believe they did that on purpose.
Hmm.
Why? Because I think they are afraid of the Miami Heat. That's why. They
Even though
are.
they're not guaranteed to win that matchup.
What happened?
Well, even though Miami not guaranteed to be a seven to play them, no guarantee.
I understand. I understand. But I don't think I think pretty much I think pretty much Miami is going to be the eighth seed. Now that Joel Embiid is back, I think they're locked in, for that seventh spot.
Yeah.
I think they're locked in for that seventh spot. Now that Joel Embiid is back. So since he is back, I have a feeling that Milwaukee Bucks intentionally wanted to be the third seed so they could avoid Miami. Cause look, let's be real here. Every single time when Miami, I know, I think there was one series, the Bucks, I think, swept Miami. I think they swept them. I can't
Yeah.
remember.
It was the year after the bubble.
Yeah, but majority of the time, I've noticed that Miami usually have the Bucks number, including
Hmm.
last year.
Yep.
Including last year. And I don't, and again, I don't want to hear anybody talking about, well, Giannis was injured. Giannis was injured. If I remember correctly, one of the games that he was injured, the Bucks won. If I remember correctly. Now, if I'm wrong, you could correct me. Somebody in the comments might correct me.
Wait. What did you say?
I said that if I remember correctly, one of the games where Giannis was injured, the Bucks had won that game.
Yeah. It was game two.
Okay, so there you go. So there you go. So you had ample time. You guys had ample time to adjust. You guys obviously had the better roster. You got a major superstar who's arguably the best player in the league. Now, obviously, maybe some will say it's Luca. Some will say that it's Joker. Obviously, he's no longer Steph Curry anymore, but he's a top three. One of the he's top three in the league right now, the very least. Not top four, not top five. He's top three, at least in my opinion. And matter of fact, he's actually in second place of points per game, right behind Luca. He's number two. You have a guy like that, they should have beaten Miami easy, easy. But for some reason, I don't know if it's because of coaching, because of Eric Spoelstra's coaching. I don't know if it's because Miami is a great, has great defense. They obviously have great defense. I don't know what it is, but whatever it is, that's freaking Milwaukee Bucks kryptonite, Miami Heat. And even and let's point and let me say this: even if this wasn't intentional, if it wasn't intentional, they just happened to lose too many games. They completely underachieved, like you said before. They completely underachieved. How in the world that you have a superstar like Damian Lillard, you have a superstar like Giannis, you still have Middleton, and yeah, he may not be the same guy like before, but you mean to tell me that you have all these people, you have Lopez, and you have all these people, and you went to the third seed, you actually let the New York Knicks catch you? You let the New York Knicks catch you. And I have to call out the organization. You fire a coach where you only lost 13 games. You know how many losses you have now? 33.
Yeah.
You fired a coach with 13 losses. How does that make any sense? You were neck and neck with Boston, for that number one spot. You decided to get Doc Rivers, and mind you, remember they fired what's his name, Buzenhauer, I can't, I don't know if I'm saying his name
Yeah,
right.
Budenholzer.
Yeah, Buzenholzer, yeah. Not giving him a chance. I understand that they lost, but to me, the guy lost his brother. Like, give him a break. He lost his brother. He lost a family member. Of course, he's not going to have his mind focused on coaching when while you currently dealing with the death of a family member. Give the guy some grace. You guys won a championship with him, but yet you fired him. You fired the rookie coach who where you only lost 13 games, and now you have Doc Rivers. This team is going under. They're not going upwards. They're going backwards. How the hell did you get from 13 to 33 losses? And this happened once you decide to hire Doc Rivers. Regardless of what issues that they had, with the other coach, they were winning. They were winning. Now you guys are losing. And I expect, and if they happen to face whether it's Philadelphia or Miami Heat, it will not surprise me if they are exit in the first round. I'm
Well, here's
serious.
the thing. Right now they're playing in the first round. Indiana. Indiana's beating them. They played them 5 times. Milwaukee's only beating them once. And they may not have Giannis in the first round. Because remember, Giannis got hurt.
That's right. That's right.
Um,
Indiana. You're right. You're right. You're right. My bad. My bad.
yeah, he
Yeah.
got hurt a couple games ago. He got hurt,
Yeah.
and he may not come back for the first round. And then not only do you have that, all the turmoil, and then Stephen A. Smith. Now here's the thing with Stephen A. Smith: when he reports on something regarding on a player how he feeling, bro, like you believe him. And there's a report today that Damian Lillard is not happy in Milwaukee.
Ha! You gotta be kidding me, man.
Hmm. I think he said on first take. He said that he doesn't think Damian Lillard is happy, and that I mean I don't know if there's a way. I don't know. I think he said something about how he said something about what did he say? I think he said something about like how things are gonna go after the season. Like he said there's a decent chance that he might not be back next year.
Damian Lillard said that.
No, not Damon. I think Stephen A. said something like that. No.
Well,
Let me
here's
see if I can find, let me see if I can find the actual quote.
okay. Yeah. Why are you looking for it? Okay. Is there any? like specific reason why he's not happy? It's because of the team, or it's because it's just the city that he doesn't like?
No, he just he. That's not where he wanted to go to. He's not. He's not. That's not where he wants to go to.
Hmm.
That's not where he wanted to be.
He wanted to be where the sun is always shining.
Yeah, he wanted to be in Miami.
That's where he wanted to go. That's where he wanted to go. And look, I trust me, I understand that. I really do. But here's the thing though. Although he wanted to go to Miami, this should have still been a consolation prize because you are now in a winning organization, an organization that won a championship already, an organization that has one of the best players in the league, who's playing with you, who you get to play with, and you one of the reasons why you wanted to leave Portland was to win a championship. So now that you have an opportunity to win one, now that you have an opportunity to play with one of the best guys in the game, you're complaining. At the very least try to finish this year without complaining of where you want to be. It's a colossal waste of time at this point. The playoff is starting. Like, it's time for you to just man up, finish the rest of the season. Let's see if you can win a championship, and then talk about where you want to be in the future next season. But I don't want to hear about you're not happy right now. It's playoff time. This should have this complaining should have never left your mouth. Why are you allowing this stuff to linger now?
Well, I mean, listen, it's a report from Stephen A. Smith. It's a report, it's not something that he actually said. It's just a report.
Well, Stephen A had to have got it that hey, Stephen A had to have gotten that quote from somebody from somewhere. Unless he's just making it up.
Okay, here's the quote that Stephen A. Smith said. If Milwaukee loses, I think you need to consider moving Dame up out of there. I'm not talking about his game. He's not happy there. And you know who else he said that about? He said that about Stephon Diggs. The beginning of
Mm,
last year. He made
yeah.
a report, and then we saw the breadcrumbs because his brother Trayvon Diggs said some stuff about Josh Allen. And guess where Stephon Diggs is now? Not in Buffalo.
Nope.
So if Stephen A. Smith is saying stuff like this, he knows something. He knows something.
Yeah.
Now, according to this matchup, if Giannis is not going to be there, you know what I mean? Then you're playing a team who you're 1-4 against. And this is actually one of the more intriguing series because these two teams don't like each other.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, they had the whole situation with Giannis and the ball, whatever. When I think he scored like 70 points or something. He scored like a large point total. I
And it
think he
took the
broke the. Yeah, there was a big, something brouhaha that happened with it. But you know, I look. This is one of those series where I'm going to say Indiana wins.
Woo.
I know I might be wrong. I might be wrong. And look, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But that's what I think is going to happen.
Do you think Damian Leonard is better than Halliburton?
I mean, he's a better overall offensive player, but Halliburton is younger. Halliburton's younger, so uh, I personally would pick Halliburton.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. You know something? You saying that, and with Giannis being injured again, you know what? I think the Patriots might actually win. That's I actually think oh no, you're right. Yeah, it's not good. What did he say in the last comment? F. What's shout out to
Oh,
you, F.
yeah. Shout out to F. Shout out to Joshua. I know you guys were here when I was having like internet problems, but
Sure, what's
yeah,
up,
it's
man?
not just Milwaukee. if he's unhappy. Facts.
Well, I mean, you already have to deal with Giannis' injury already, and now if he's unhappy, now you have to also deal with chemistry. Now, yeah, that's not good. No, that's not good. That's absolutely not good. But I think, but I'm gonna have to agree with you. I think the Patriots are going to win in six.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna win in six. Now, there's one more team I need to ask, and then we could leave.
Hmm.
Do you see the Timberwolves beating the Suns?
That's a good series. That's a good series. I I can see I can see the Suns beating the Timberwolves.
And how many games?
7. But I can also see the Timberwolves beating the shit out of the Suns. I can see that also
When you say
because they're
beat,
younger.
when you say beat the crap out of them, you mean like sweep?
Yeah,
Ooh,
I can see that also.
ooh,
I can
wow,
see that also.
wow. To me, I think the Timberwolves are going to win because of their defense. I think because Kevin Durant can't handle so much physicality. We've seen that against Boston. You know what I'm saying? And we saw that when they faced, I think it was what the Nuggets. And now I think we're going to see that
Did?
again with the Timberwolves. Wasn't it the Denver Nuggets that eliminated them?
Yeah, they did. But what was? But did they? But did they? They didn't lose because of him.
No, 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 no. I think they played really good defense on Kevin Durant.
No, let me look at his numbers.
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead, go ahead. And I think with the Timberwolves, I honestly believe that with the Timberwolves, they are such a very good defending team. I think they'll be able to slow Kevin Durant down. I don't think Kevin Durant will be able to handle their physicality, and because of that, I think the Timberwolves are going to win in five.
Okay. What about the other series? Clippers and Dallas.
That one, dude, I think it's going to be Clippers in seven.
Think so?
Clippers
Oh,
in seven.
that's a good series, man.
That's a good series.
Because at one point, I would have said that that the Clippers were the biggest threat to the Denver Nuggets. I would have said that. They I know they struggled near the end of the season, but yeah, it's an interesting series because Dallas has been playing the best out of all these teams over the last month or so. You got Luca playing at an MVP level. You have Kyrie playing at a very high level,
Yeah.
and this honestly, this is the most intriguing series to me. This is the most intriguing series because whoever, to me, one of these two teams are could make it to the Western Conference Finals.
Hmm. Okay.
One
Okay.
of these,
I
and
could see that. I could see that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, so you have that. Okay, and then in the other side, we talked about 3-6, 4-5, Cavaliers versus Magic. You know what? I'm gonna go with the Magic.
And how many how many games?
7, 7.
I think it's gonna be Cavaliers in seven.
Because I'm hearing a lot of the same stuff when it comes to Donovan Mitchell not being happy in Cleveland.
Well, but that happened even since last year, though.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, but I don't. He's not happy over there.
Yeah.
So I
I
don't
I,
know.
I actually wanted to keep score.
Mhm.
Of who's going to get the majority of the wins between me and you. Well, I'll do that, for the next round.
Yeah, yeah. No, here what we'll wait till the play-in stuff ends, and then we'll post our predictions in the Discord.
Okay. Oh, you know what? You know what? All right, but before the next topic, all right, who do you got winning in the play-in? between like who you think is going to be eliminated and who you think is going to be in the eighth seed.
Okay, let me start. Okay, in in the East, let's start with the East. I,
Hmm.
I I'm ignoring 9 and 10. Fuck those teams. It will be the 7th seed will be Miami. The
Okay.
8th seed will be Philadelphia.
Okay.
So at least that's my hope. Obviously, that's my hope.
Hmm.
That's my hope. In the Western Conference, I think Golden State will win their matchup. I think LA. Hmm.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, that one.
You know what? I changed my mind. I changed my mind. I think the Pelicans are gonna win the 7-8.
Oh snap! Okay.
So the Pelican will be the 7th seed, and then Golden State versus LA. I got the Lakers.
Yeah, they're too big. They're too big for the Warriors. They're too big. All right, so all right, you want to ignore the 9 and 10 seed from the Bulls and the Hawks. I think it's going to be the Hawks anyway, but all right, but who cares? I think with the 76ers and the Heat, it's tough because now that Embiid is back, it's tough. I'm gonna have to say Sixers and seven, and the Heat's gonna be eighth. And I think it's going to be a very good matchup between them and Boston. That's going to be very nice to watch. Now on the Western side, I think it's going to be, man. You might be right about the whole theory thing, but I think it's going to be the Lakers. They're going to be number 8. They're going to beat the Pelicans. Warriors is going to beat the Kings, and Warriors is going to beat the Pelicans.
Okay. All right. So I'm looking at Kevin Durant's numbers right here
Hmm.
against Denver last year.
Yeah,
All right. First game he had 29. Second game 24. Game 3 39. Game 4 36. Game Game 5 he had 26, and game 6 23.
2023.
Yeah.
I'm actually curious to know how many points he scored in the fourth quarter in those games.
You don't have those numbers.
Okay.
But he scored enough for them. He scored enough for them. Yeah, whatever. It is what it is. We'll just have to wait until we get the playing stuff out the way.
Yeah. All
All
right.
right,
Good stuff.
so let's read some comments. Malta, back I was in church. Finals will be Nuggets and Celtics.
Hmm. Do you agree with that?
I can definitely see it happening. I can definitely see it happening.
Okay.
And he said Knicks are going so hard this year. I think the Knicks are definitely better this year, but even with everyone complaining about Julius Randle, not having him ultimately on the team where you need offense is gonna be. I think it's gonna hurt them.
Dude, I don't know why, but I have just a strange feeling. I think the Celtics is gonna go absolutely, but I have a strange feeling that yes, I understand the Nuggets, but dude, I I I would be petrified of that Clippers team. Kawhi looks amazing.
Yeah,
Kawhi looks
stay
amazing.
healthy, and but the thing is that the team overall has struggled, and they have James Harden on the team, so you know can't you
Yeah,
can't trust you can't trust that ultimately.
yeah.
So all right, well on that note, let's move on. Let's go to this one topic that I throw this out in the Discord. It's a tweet from a DOA player. I think might be a tournament player, but definitely a fan of the series. Just waiting for my computer. My computer been shit all day. I don't know what the hell is going on.
While you do that, Malta says the East is so weak. Now it's funny that you mentioned that, Malta, because I think maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, when before I realized how garbage the Bucks has been playing, I had said to Hoovy 186 here that what's this stupid fly. I had said to Hoovy 186 that the East had the best teams. I had thought that the Bucks and the Celtics could beat any team in the West. At least at the time. I don't feel that way anymore. So I wouldn't say that the East is garbage, because you still have Miami, who has made it far regardless of what seed that they're in. You still have the 76ers. Now Joel Embiid is back. So
Well,
you
but he did get hurt recently.
yeah, yeah. Um but when you look at the roster overall, I wouldn't say the 76ers is a garbage team, though. I wouldn't say that they're a garbage team. But yeah, obviously the West has majority of the better team overall. They have more teams overall. But you said any team below the third seed in the East would not even make it to playoffs in the West. Hmm.
But here's the thing: this is the first time in the history of the NBA where there are 10 teams in one conference that are 10 games over 500.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. That's
That's crazy.
crazy.
He said Harden's going to underperform again. That's what I'm counting on. Although he's only historically trash in the second and third round, so I think he'll play well in the first round. That's it. I think he's referring to Harden.
Yeah.
Celtics had highest record only because they're playing other teams in the East.
Hmm.
Well, the two worst teams in the NBA are in the Eastern Conference, so you know he has a point there. I hope the 76ers get far, but I wouldn't place my money on that.
Well, why,
That's
why
the thing.
why do you want the Sixers to go far? Oh, go ahead, Hoovy.
Well, here's the thing: the Sixers were top three team until Embiid got hurt. Their season got derailed because he got hurt. So, and the reason why a lot of people are so bullish on them, going far, even despite being in the play-in, is because of Embiid. But now that he's hobbled again, I don't know if he's gonna play tomorrow. I don't know if he's gonna play Wednesday against Miami. But if he's not playing, they don't have a shot. They don't have a chance. If he plays and they play well, I think there's a good chance that they can do what Miami did last year.
Okay.
But if he's not playing and he's not healthy, then they're not. That's not gonna happen. Multi said that because he likes Embiid, but he has something to prove. He has a lot to prove. So, all right, moving on. Now, this is a tweet from a DOA player, right? I think he's a tournament player, and this is his comment regarding Dead or Alive. Because Dead or Alive 6 was a game that was, how would I say this? Dead or Alive 6 is not that good. Dead or Alive 6 is a game that introduced a mechanic that kind of ruined the game, at least for me.
What
And
what was it?
it was a mechanic because it's been a while since I played the game, but it was a mechanic where it was like a meter mechanic where it would do a slowdown and then you would blow. I guess you could hit them hard, and then they'll roll back or whatever. To me, that made the game boring. Along with the uninspired stages, because look, let's be real. Dead or Alive is known for a couple things: the women, the jiggle physics, and the stages. And in DOA 6, I felt like the stages were uninspired and just not very good.
Okay.
Right. And ultimately, I got bored with the game, and obviously, I think it hurt the game that it had a whole bunch of monetization in it. I mean, we're talking like a whole bunch in it. But read this guy's comment right here. Their Life 7 should stick to the winning formula of DOA 5, but with updated graphics and new moves. Remove the unnecessary meter mechanics and dial back on the overt sexualization of the female cast so everyone can fully embrace the game's competitive potential. Now, what he means by this is that he thinks that they should tone down the sexualized nature of the female characters, which has always been a staple of the games ever since DOA 2. Here's the thing. They tried to do some of that in the last game, right? Now they hit it very well, right? But if you wanted to get the sexy costumes, you had to buy them, and trust me, they were gonna make you buy them, right? So you had that, but nowadays in fighting games, everything now is is predicated on what they do when it comes to esports, because that's how Street Fighter became, got to where it's at. Popularity, not obviously it's been popular, but when it comes to esports, that's why it's extremely popular. There's a reason why Tekken is extremely popular. Is why Smash, despite Nintendo's best efforts, is extremely popular.
Yeah,
DOA is not at that level. Now it does have a competitive scene, but it's clearly not as robust as Tekken. And what he's essentially trying to say is that he wants to see DOA get to that level when it comes to the competitive aspect of the game.
but he's also. It looks like he's also saying that everything else when it comes to like, okay, for example, the sexualization,
Yeah.
he's saying that it's hindering them from doing that because it's too sexual. Like I don't see how that is preventing them from making a good DOA game.
Here's the thing. The thing is that when it comes to esports, my man, like you said, he's a competitive player. If they're not there, I guarantee you, esports channels, especially Twitch, you know what I mean, especially Twitch, and I would probably say YouTube also. They don't like that type of stuff on their platform.
Oh, okay.
Not,
You
yeah,
talking about the people who run it. You're not talking
yeah,
about the creators. Okay.
yeah. I'm talking about the people who run like the stream, like Twitch and YouTube and stuff like that. And there's tons of other streaming services, but those are the two biggest ones. And then you have esports with their sponsorships, and and you think that they're going to openly promote a game that's highly sexualized? Now, I don't think the sexualization in DOA is that bad, but it definitely is. Like Street Fighter is different because it's 2D, and you saw when with Street Fighter 5 with some of the stuff that when it came to their women, they had to tone that down a bit.
Mm-hmm.
They had to tone that down, right? Now, when it comes to DOA, in order for them to be in the competitive scene, they may have to dial that back, because I don't think sponsors are going to be okay with a game that is open to sexualizing their female characters. Whether we think is right or wrong, that's it's not we can argue that till the cows come home. But when it comes to DOA and the esports scene, I don't know how they can strike a balance.
Hmm. Okay. So the question that I have for you:
Mhm.
do you believe the roster, especially particularly the female characters, do you think they were over sexualized on that game?
In what game?
6.
No, but you had, but in order to you to buy those costumes, you had to pay for it.
The the ones that were sexualized, the very
Mhm.
you talking about the exotic okay
Yeah, because
okay.
they did consciously cover up the women more in 6 than they did in 5.
Oh, so then there shouldn't be really any issue then.
The problem is the game overall just didn't do well, and I don't think it did well financially either. Because the thing is that they're trying to strike a balance between competitive and selling the game. And so if they do make a new DOA, what direction do they go in? Because if they go the route that they've gone through traditionally, I don't think the game's gonna survive. If they go the esports route, I don't know if that's good. I don't think that they're not. I don't think the game's gonna sell. Is gonna sell.
Because you think people are going to cry wokeness, and then they're gonna just
Mm-hmm.
like the game.
Mm-hmm. And if they go the other way, you're gonna have a bunch of feminists being like, "Oh, this is blah, 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 blah," and then sponsors are not gonna touch this game when it comes to doing an esports, and that to me that can be a lifeblood for a game like that.
I mean, like to me, I think as long as they don't go overboard with it, like having bikinis, and like how with Street Fighter Five, like you mentioned, with all the crazy stuff that happened over there, and then they had to tone it down. I mean, if they don't go that route, I don't necessarily think it's going to be a problem, with esports, because I don't because to me, even when you look at, okay, like for example, when you go back and you look and you played, four, or when you had played five, a lot of people would say that it was very sexualized, in those games. But I don't necessarily think it was to the point to where everybody was just completely naked or something like that. Like
No.
I don't recall them being in bikinis. All I remember,
Oh, they definitely have bikinis in there. They definitely
all
did.
what I remember was that, yes, their boobies were shaking. you know,
Yeah.
you know, a lot of times. That's really the only thing that I could remember in the past, Dead or Alive games.
Yeah.
So
I
I
mean,
mean,
they can if they want to take the esports seriously, they can ban certain costumes. They can do that. But you're gonna have obviously gonna have people who complain about that. But I don't know. It's just interesting to see how Tecmo Koei handles the next game because they can't do what they did with 6. I don't think they can.
so
Because to
you,
me, six was a massive disappointment in my opinion.
wow, you thought it was that bad? Okay.
Yeah, I just felt like the stuff that they like. To me, the most disappointing part to me were the stages. This very canned, very like nothing insane. And I remember back in the day, they had some insane stages.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe it's just me getting older, but when your gimmick is the jiggle physics and the stages, and you tone both of those down, then what do you have? To me, you have a pretty average, um, an average DOA game, an average 3D fighter.
Wow, just average.
Yeah,
Well, if they tone this thing down, I'm telling you right now, you're gonna have a lot of people that's gonna say, "Oh, look, see, this is woke again. This is woke again. We're tired of this." And look, I understand the complaint, but you already know what my position is. Like, to me, as long as you don't remove the aesthetics and make them purposely make them look ugly or fat or whatnot, then I'm all for it. Like, I'm okay of them being covered up, a little bit, or if they're not as sexy like they used to be. Like, I'm okay with that. I don't think they should just completely dismiss the game. And look, I know in tradition, when it comes, my name is traditionalist after all. When it comes to how the game was originally made, the foundation of the game, it had a lot of, let's just say it, sex appeal. They're attractive. I mean, hell, they made a freaking beach volleyball game that it wasn't about the gameplay.
No.
It wasn't about the gameplay. Like it was about the good. It was about the chicks. It was about the chicks. So to me, if they're going to cover them up, I think it's okay. I just worry that people are going to complain and just not buy the game outright because they're just going to say that it's woke and woke, it's woke, it's woke, and maybe to a degree, maybe it is. Like I don't know who this guy is that you put on Twitter. I don't know. I don't know who that guy is. I don't know him.
Have you ever heard of a guy named Emery Reigns?
The name sounds familiar.
Let me go to his Twitter account right now. Maybe his face we'll get to it. But no, I mean, to me, I play the game because it's just mindless fun. You know what I mean? Like it's just mindless fun. But when there's aspects of it that you remove, don't make it fun. And then, like you said, the costume prices and the way they handled the costumes wasn't good. I didn't like that. So it's like, it was, to me it was a waste of an entry. It really was. Cause I had a problem with 5, but at least 5 was a good game. So that's Emery Reigns right here. He's one of the top content creators for DOA.
Oh, okay.
So when it comes to he has gameplay footage. This is DOA 5.
Oh, that was so cool. I'm assuming that was which tournament was this?
This was, I don't know the name of it, but this was DOA 5.
Was it breakdancing? Was that
Yeah.
wait, hold on. Was that dude? Okay, hold on. He does. I never seen this before, man. I never saw that before. Oh my
I
god.
don't know if that's him, but that dude with the power.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
So yeah, so it's interesting. I know, James, I know you gotta go, bro, but I do want to hear your opinion on this because I don't think he's like a massive DOA fan, but like, how is it? Because we know how games nowadays, they are predicated on their esports. Like even past fighting games, like Gran Turismo has an esports scene, right? Like you have Fortnite, Call of Duty, like all these games, like Halo, all these games have esports elements in it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Tecmo Koei would want their game to be in that same boat. But I'm telling you, sponsors are not going to go with it if they make the women the way that they've been making the women, recently. And you're gonna have a bunch of people whining and complaining about it, and that's gonna cause pressure from sponsors not to support them. And then if they do go to the route where they cover up women, then you're alienating your fan base, and you have a lot of them who are probably not going to buy the game. So it might do well esports wise, but the game's not going to sell.
Yeah.
And I hate to be that guy, but the game's not Tekken, the game's not Virtua Fighter. It ain't on that level.
If they could find some way to and to try to appease both, it could probably work. Now again, remember when we had talked about when Capcom had changed the look of Cammy. We could still say that Cammy, at least she still looked good. You know what I'm saying? And we all know that, I believe that stretch that she does completely. That's gonna be like one of the most iconic intros when it comes to fighting games. But to me, if they could do something like that where you don't remove the aesthetics, you still make them look very attractive, just not as sexy, I think fans will be able to cope with it. I think.
I don't know, man. I don't know about these people. But anyway, let's go to the comments. Let me see. Let me see if we get. All right, so I think I like this comment from Malta. He said this is regarding MB. He said he has a pity MVP. It's time for to win a Finals MVP.
Yeah, yeah.
He said I played Ditto Life 2 on the 360 back in the day. I would like to see some before and after pictures.
Oh, do you have it?
Regarding regarding what, Malta? Let me know precisely what you.
Let's talk about DOA.
I mean, let me see. I don't know. It's hard to tell because it's hard to say because I don't know. I don't know if I can find any online that's specific to what we're talking about. Because they are sexy outfits in DOA 6. It's just that for a lot of the characters you have to buy them, and either you pay money for it, or you have to play the game for a long time. And the game was super stingy with the amount of points you get. They had the multiple currency system, and to me it was just a mess.
Yeah.
It was just a mess. Uh, Let me see if I can find something here. In the meantime, let me continue on.
While you do that, while you're looking for stuff, he said, dude, games with hot chicks, especially if it's anime, sells like hotcakes. And I'm glad that you said that, Malta. Want to know why? Because I had said something down those lines on the Discord. Let me see if I can find out what I said. I had said something similar to that. And look, let's all face reality here. Everybody loves when you're using a chick and she's very, very attractive. We don't want to. People, there's people out there that they don't want to play as fat chicks or ugly chicks or what have you. And I had said on the Discord that one of the most iconic characters all have been very, very attractive. Let me see if I remember what I said. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see. Give me 1 second. Okay, yeah. So I had put when you think about gaming, comics, etc., you notice that the most iconic female characters has always been very attractive. Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy, Chun-Li, Cammy, Lara Croft, Wonder Woman, She-Hulk, Zatanna, Asuka, Nina Williams, etc., etc. I think even you, Hoovy, would agree that you would find every single one of those characters, female characters, extremely attractive. Now we could argue about which one is who would you rank, but that's another topic for another day. But the most iconic female characters have been extremely attractive, and yes, it appeals to a lot of gamers who are men. And if you're going to remove that, because
I think you missed Miss Pac-Man.
what happened?
You missed Miss Pac-Man.
Yeah, no one finds her attractive.
You sure? You sure about that?
Yes.
I don't know. I think she's kind of sexy myself, but that's just me.
You think a ball, someone that looks like a ball, is very attractive?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I know you're trolling. I know you're trolling, but
Why not? What's her bad qualities? What's her bad qualities?
She's a ball. That's all she is.
Okay. All right, buddy. You can continue.
Anyways, you cannot have characters where they're just not appealing to look at. I'm sorry, especially if they're female. If they're not appealing to look at, we have to have something to somewhat to look up to. That's why when you have all these animes, you have all these superheroes. They're big, they're buff, they're muscular. we don't want like how it is in America where majority of the people are overweight. We don't want that in our games. I'm sorry. Or you could talk about, oh, it's good, for everything to be realistic and blah 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 blah. But yeah, if that's what you want to do, you're going to make the game boring. You're going to make the game unappealing. How the character looks still matters. So I agree fully, with you, Malta, that all this stuff about covering up the women, or they're being too sexualized. I think all of that is a bunch of BS. They're just insecure people who know that they were not able to obtain that type of body figure in real life. So they want to say, oh, use the argument, let's just make them as realistic as possible. Okay, get out of here with that BS. All right, let's go move to next.
So
Go ahead.
so just looking at some of the screenshots here, you have Ayani, like a legendary character in the franchise. You look at some of the outfit choices that they make with her. Now again, like I said before, they have sexy outfits in 6. They do. But they definitely, I guess you could say, they presented it more toned down in this game than they did in 5. And even in 5, she don't even in 5, I don't think the outfit is like that. Let me go back. Even in 5, this outfit is not. It really isn't that revealing. But
Yeah.
there are definitely outfits in 5 that are definitely more revealing than this.
Mm-hmm.
So if they'll do the comparison with multiple women. Here. Let me see. Where's Multa's comment? Okay. You continue reading. Continue reading.
All right. So he also says, me personally, if I did like the series, the change wouldn't stop me from purchasing the game if I had already planned, if I already already planned on it, or I think that's what he's saying. Yeah, I do agree slightly though, with that, because like I said, I'm telling you right now, if they ever would have her, all the female characters look like that garbage April Neal character, or how they made her look like if they made them look like that Velma character, like all ugly and fat, like no, I'm not buying the game anymore.
So
That
you
goes to
think Velma? Wait. You think Velma was designed to be attractive?
the oh Hoovy, come on, bro. Come on, dude. Don't do that,
You
Hoovy.
you think Velma's designed to be attractive?
Bro. If you look at the classic Velma, I could slightly agree with you, but they made her
Yeah,
much.
that's what I'm talking about.
They made her very very attractive, in the late '90s and early 2000s. They actually made her look really good.
All right, but that's not how she was portrayed originally.
I mean, you like
No, there was not, Steve.
she was
No, it wasn't.
she was a
Hmm?
nerd. She was a nerd. That's all.
Yeah,
Okay, that's
yeah.
fine.
We all know that the eye candy was supposed to be Daphne.
That's fine. That's fine. But
So they
they
changed the character to look more sexy, and you have no problem with that.
well, I wouldn't say sexy. She did they did make her look a bit more attractive looking, but I wouldn't say it like eye candy like Daphne. No, but
So so the new series, the Velma series that's on HBO Max, that's more in line with how she looks like in the original cartoon. The only thing they just made her darker skin.
no, and made her fat.
I mean, they made her darker skin in the same image of the lead actress playing her, which is Keening, and that's her body. That's her body frame,
No,
and that's her skin tone.
when you see well, hold on. If I remember correctly, in the movie, the live action movie, no, she wasn't like that.
It wasn't like what?
She didn't have that skin tone in the live action
No,
movie.
no, 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 no. I'm talking about in the Max cartoon.
Yeah, when she's fat and ugly, yes.
Yeah, but her that look outside of the skin tone is more in line with what Velma actually looks like.
No, that I disagree with that fully. I
I
completely disagree.
I don't know, man. I don't know, man. Like I've always thought the way that Velma looks is supposed to be more in line with what they did in the cartoon. Obviously, outside of her skin tone.
No, I disagree. I disagree.
I mean, we can look at let's look at it right now.
I disagree. But my overall point was that when you do stuff like that, I'm not going to buy the game. That goes for Street Fighter. That goes for Tekken. That goes for Dead or Alive. That goes for Soul Calibur. You do that, I'm not buying the game.
Let's go to image.
No. Those look. Yeah, what all of that. She has a nice body. She always had that curvy hourglass look. So I don't know what you're talking about.
That's how you see it. That's how you see it.
Look at the pictures.
I I don't agree. I don't agree because you can't tell what her curves look like in the dress. You really can't. But she was absolutely not designed. She was definitely not designed as a sex figure. She wasn't.
But you could still look at her and say that she's very attractive.
I I don't agree with that.
Well,
I don't agree with that, bro. Like, okay, I gotta be careful with some of these pictures. Some of these pictures are getting revealing. But you think this is designed to be attractive? Like this?
Who they always make funny faces where the characters look like some weird type of weird look. I mean, come on, bro.
Okay, but my thing is like they had the character design for a character to be sexy, and that was for Daphne, not for Vilma.
Well, I don't I never claimed that she was supposed to be sexy, but she was still very attractive, type of female.
I I don't agree with you at all.
When you look at the first two, let's versus the second one. Let's versus the second one. When you look at that picture, she has an hourglass type of figure.
You can't tell. I mean, it's a cartoon, but I don't even know if this is the original. But the original, she was not depicted as a sexy character. She wasn't.
You keep saying sexy. No, we agree. I agree with that. We're not talking about anything about sexy, but she was not supposed to represent any type of ugliness or someone who's overweight. None of that was represented.
Steve, look at this. Which one of these two is more of a representation of beauty between the two of them?
Man, that's not the argument.
That's my argument.
That was
That's
never
what I'm saying.
that was never my argument. My argument was never of portraying her to be a sexy type of female, to be eye candy. That was never the argument. What I'm saying is she was not depicted as an ugly character.
When you compare her to Daphne, I think that's what I think that's what they were going for. I do think that's what they were going for.
Look at the picture. Look, go down, go down. Scroll down. Keep going. Look at that picture on the right, on the far right. Click on that one. Where
This one?
Daphne. Okay, fine. You could click on that one also if you want. Can you make
Yeah.
it bigger?
I'll probably have to change the yeah, I'm gonna have to change the view.
Okay, never mind. Once again, you could tell just by the look of her shape. Oh wow, they gave her bigger boobs too in this one.
Yeah, like that's not her original design. Clearly not her original design.
You cannot say, but even still, you cannot sit here and tell me she doesn't look attractive on here.
I mean, based on this design, no. But even with that, the person who was designed as the sex symbol was Daphne, not Velma.
That's fine. We
And
know.
it's not, and frankly, I don't think they tried to meant it to be close.
No, I agree with that. All I'm saying is they did not try to represent her as some ugly bimbo. That's all I'm saying. But besides, all the ones in the '90s, well, I say it's '90s because they were all a lot older than that. But to
Mhm.
me, I just felt like Velma was definitely. I found her attractive, back in the day when I was watching Scooby Doo. I did. I thought both of them were pretty. Obviously, Daphne was prettier, but I thought they were both attractive.
Mhm.
But anyway,
All right, so Malta continues. Me personally, oh, you read this, right?
yeah.
Okay, okay. Okay. But if I streamed it, I wouldn't roast the hell out of the woman in the game if I knew I meant before and after the character's body enhancement compared to the body average gamer resembles. Every fighting game that's only chicks in it sells very well, whether it's arcade, home console, PC, you name it. I don't agree with that. Like Skull Girls did okay, but it was on life support for a long time. Dude, I'm not trying to start some argument, but growing up and even today I've known so many guys gamers that always choose to play as a girl before the men. So I know this is for a fact. I know this for a fact.
Yeah,
I,
I know,
I,
I know,
I
I
always
know. There's guys who like to play pick as to play as females too. But I'm telling you, who we win '86, having your female characters look good is important to a lot of the gamers. It is.
Yeah, bro, I agree with Steve. Hard as hell. They should make the playable characters have a good physique. I guess the people you have to save can have a bad physique, especially if it's a male, because it will make more likely sense. It's kind of like Spider Dork. I mean, man, they made him a nerd so that so many people will want to watch the movie. Well, I mean that's Peter Parker. Peter Parker is pretty much a nerd in every depiction of Spider Man. In the action movies back in the 80s and 90s, characters were badass, like Arnold and Sly. I agree with that. Joe's in the chat. What's going on, bro? He says, so I guess Bob is hot then. Mr. T and Dolph Lundgren. You guys from Malta.
Do you know who Bob is?
I think Joe, if you're talking about the Bob cut, let me know. Okay, so Critical Drop is in the chat. What's going on, man? He said, hey y'all. Also in other news, Keanu Reeves is Shadow the Hedgehog in the third movie.
Oh snap! I didn't know that.
Yeah, I saw a rumor. I saw that rumor today.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Peter Parker has scrawny little arms. All right, gotta go, y'all. I'm headed to the gym. All right, man. Have a good day. Have a good time at the gym. Critical Justice Velma series. We don't want to talk about that series. I had owned. I had owned Dragon Ball Evolution and Fantastic Four. An apology. So is that bad? I have to watch it. I guess. Joe says, but you have a problem with them changing OG character designs. And he is referring to the whole Velma thing.
You have a problem. Look, to me, Velma has always looked like an attractive character to me. She always looked like a very attractive character. Now, as far as sexy, as far as eye candy, obviously that was for Daphne. But and all the Scooby Doo's that I have seen, the old classic Scooby Doo, the modern Scooby Doo that I think that where they upgraded, the look, the graphics, and etc. etc. She looked good in that one. The movies, she looked good, and in the live action movies, she looked good. So I don't know what you're talking about, man. Like cut the cap, all right? Cut the cap.
I don't think you're trying to be confrontational.
He is because he said you were a hypocrite.
Wait, did he say that later on in the thing?
Yeah.
All right. All right. Despite what Hoobie said, she's not only the favorite of the two, she's also the one overtly sexually used. I agree with. I agree, but that was not her original. That was not the original intention of the design. That wasn't the original intention.
I don't think their intention was to make her sexy, but I don't think their intention was to make her
I
ugly
think,
either.
but I do think most. I think a lot of women embrace her, embrace her character more.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but it just seems that way.
Oh, yeah, she was obviously, the brains, of the group.
Yeah, but that's not why women. That's not why women are dressing up as for Halloween.
No, no, she was the brain, of the group,
Yeah, but
and
that's not why they're doing that. That's not why. And the thing, I don't know why. Like, I have no idea why.
mhm.
Maybe it's because because Joe says here she was always chubby.
He doesn't know what he's talking about. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Where show me in what picture where she was a fat chick.
No, he didn't say fat. He said chubby. There's a difference.
Okay, you
There's
could
a difference.
you could
Wait,
play,
wait, wait.
you could
Look at
play
this.
you and Joe could play semantics if you want to, but
No. Look at this picture. Look at this picture. Look at this picture.
well, can you at least click on the picture?
Hold on, bro. Let me get to it. All right, so let's blow up this picture. Let's see if they can make this picture bigger. Okay, let me go here. Let me zoom in. Where's the zoom button?
I don't know.
Okay. Okay. Look at this picture right here.
Hmm.
Now again, this is art style. This is art style. So we have to take that into account. Look at how fucking thin Daphne's stomach is in this. Look how real fucking thin that is.
Okay.
And then compare that to what Velma's wearing.
Well, look, she has a sweater on, a thick sweater on. Like
Okay, but this is what they're depicting these people as.
yeah, but look at her sweater. That doesn't show anything resemble anything that represents someone who's chubby or fat or anything like that.
All right, but they obviously depict her as being a lot skinnier, a lot fatter than Daphne. Look at this.
Haven't know you
Look
missed
at this.
here. You missing the point here. They never portrayed Daphne as some overweight character.
That's not the point I'm trying to make.
I'm not.
What I'm saying is that they look at how they depicted. Oh, look at all the characters. That Shaggy depicted as scrawny, and Fred. I don't know if he's more built than Shaggy than Shaggy. Clearly, and the same dynamic goes for Daphne and Velma.
Yeah, but look what go ahead.
She may not be fat, but she definitely is a lot fatter than Daphne. At least the way that they're depicted.
She has obviously has more thickness than Daphne does. Obviously she do. But when you see how she is being drawn, her outfit, forget her outfit, it's extremely baggy. She has a skirt that is like above her knee, but her socks are like pretty much close to up to her knees. She's pretty much practically covered all the way through.
And you think that, and you have to remember now. This one is a little bit younger because they have Scrappy over here. But which one do you think was the model of beauty back in the day?
Once again, you keep that was not the art. I'm the argument is not to compare the two. Everybody knows that Daphne was the eye candy, the sexy one out of the group. We all know that. Scooby Doo and Shaggy was like the scaredy cats, of the group. Fred, he always came up with some game plan, to capture the criminals. So I guess you could say he's somewhat was the brains, of the I guess to a degree. But Daphne, obviously, she was like the brains of the group, but she was never depicted as some, I don't know what's the word, like some lazy, fat character. I just don't see it.
No,
I think they probably just use her like just a regular average chick.
okay, that's fine. But my point is, and what Joe's saying here, he calling her fat. I'm not gonna call her fat, but compared to Daphne in this picture, she's fat. Compared to the two, she's fat. And like, and my overall point is, I think my overall point is that even though most girls now cosplay more as Velma than Daphne, like that was not the original design. That was not the original design purpose.
But even with all of that, she's been actually the more popular character of the two anyway.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. But that's not my argument. All right, let's go. Let me go back to this. And then let's go back to the chat.
No,
Um,
all right, go ahead. Fine, that's
all
fine.
right, one last comment. That's a big reason why I don't like superhero stuff at all. Okay. Joe says she's always been fat.
And
Vince,
and and you're wrong, and you are wrong. Average and fat is not the same thing. Go ahead.
Vince Scooby Doo since I was a kid. She was always the chubby, ugly one.
Ugly to you.
Bob from
Ugly to
Texas.
you. Ugly to you.
Scooby don't watch Roma series. You rather watch TikTok videos, or heck, you would rather go to church than watch it. I'll be the judge of that, buddy. I'll be the judge of it. I'll watch one episode. If I don't like it, then I'm not gonna. Then I won't watch anymore. He's a hypocrite because he doesn't want sexy tunes getting dumbed down, but he doesn't mind a basic girl getting an upgrade.
I'm not.
Oh well, this. Hold
I,
on.
oh, good.
Let
Good.
me finish. Let me finish. Oh well, this is why you can't argue with Steve because he don't like facts that don't work for him. She's clearly chubby, not obese or fat, but she's chunky. Nerds like her because of it. Many animators make her chubby. Also, look at Mai from Overwatch, also chubby, and people love making porn of her. Yeah, and my point is that I think it's because you're talking about the Mina Keening series and being like, oh, they made her fat in the series, and I'm like, I feel like that was more the more of the intention of the look of Velma than it was even back in the day. It's
That
more in line with the
that,
look of.
that is completely false because it's completely night and day. Even if you take the skin tone
Yeah, it
out.
is night and day. But if they made it, but I guarantee you that Velma's original design is more in line with what they did in that series than they do with it. Because look, between the two, like you said, between the two of them, they made Daphne razor thin. A lot more razor thin than Velma was. And being thin back in the day was more of a sign of beauty than a girl who had some curve to her, especially back in the day. Um, Move on, Hoovy. You can't argue with someone that doesn't like to use logic. Uh,
Yeah, first off, you've been capping ever since you got here, so you don't know what you're talking about. All right, you really don't know what you're talking about. First off, you said that she's fat, then you said she's chubby, then you said she's fat again. So like you're all over the place as always. You can't say consistent. You can't stay consistent. All I've said throughout this whole entire argument was that they did not portray her as some fat individual. She was just average. That's all I've been using. Average. Daphne was obviously the sexy one, the eye candy one, and Velma was just average. And when you look at all the newer Scooby Doo's that's been coming out, and including all the movies that's been out over the years, she actually been higher than average. She hasn't been hiding. She's been very, very attractive. They still kept, all her outfits, intact. She still wear that baggy sweater or sweatshirt, whatever you call it. They just made her look even more attractive, especially in the face. You know what I'm saying? So I honestly do not see what the problem is. And let's just say that you're right that she was, and let's just say that let's say that you're right, even though you're wrong. Let's just say that you're right that she was chubby in the original series. I mean, she hasn't been that way for a very long time now, for a very long time.
And that
So
change is okay.
because they made her, obviously she has the curves now. She has the curves, and and in some of the series, like they gave her like these cat eyes. So I mean, it looks like, to me, she looks outstanding. I'm sorry.
So that's okay. Changing that the original look for her is okay, as long as they make her more sexy.
I didn't ask for more sexy. I never asked for more sexy.
But that's what they did for some of these cartoons, but you're okay with that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Of course I'm okay, because they didn't make her ugly. You already been consistent with how I said I don't want them to remove the aesthetics from the characters. I don't. But if you're going to purposely make characters look ugly and you make characters look fat, for whatever reason, then yes, of course I have a problem with that.
So, but if they go the other way, you're cool with it.
No, because she doesn't look like Daphne.
No. I'm if they go the other way and make her more sexy, you're okay with that.
Mm, more sexy. I mean,
You can just say yes and move on, Steve. I don't
yeah,
have a problem.
probably.
Okay, we can move on. Okay, this is you. This is GTA.
Is this our last one?
No, the second to last one. The last one will be short. It won't take long.
Um. Oh, it looks like you still have a couple of things to show.
No. Let me stop sharing.
Oh, all right. So we are going to be talking about GTA, and it's not good news here. We've been anticipating for GTA for a very long time. People like Hoovy 186 here has been complaining that it's been far too long for the new GTA to come out, and we actually have more people complain about how, because GTA came out, I think even back with the 360, if I remember correctly, and then they brought it out to the next gen, and now to the next gen after that, and people are like, "Wow, it's been a very long time," but we have more updates regarding GTA 6. I mean, well, GTA Online, I should say. GTA, the new GTA Red, Red Dead Online community guidelines outlaw griffing.
Okay,
Okay,
hold on. Let me address something from Joe. Let me address something from Joe. Joe, bro, like my phone, I wasn't near my phone. I have it on vibrate, so I didn't see your comment on here. Right? I didn't see your comment on here. So yeah, my apologies. I've been silent in the comment since Ronda Rousey, but you talking stupid made me have to say something.
what? Okay, what was it that I said that was stupid? Because again, all you like to do is just name. All you like to do is name call, but you actually bring no type of meaning, no substance whatsoever. What was that? What? Tell me a couple of things that I said that was stupid. I'll wait for you to lie to me. All right, now, um, where was I? Since I was rudely interrupted, let me see. All right, the GTA guidelines. Let me just read the article because, man, it's starting to get late, and I need to head to the gym. So in order to help ensure a positive gaming experience for everyone, Rockstar have released a new set of community guidelines to ensure online experience for everyone is fair, respectful, and safe. The former statement was shared with an announcement with the new community guidelines on X. Notably, the new community guidelines outlaw griffing, which has been part of the Grand Theft Auto Online and Red Dead Online communities since their beginnings, sometimes leading to incredibly entertaining moments of revenge. This isn't the first step Rockstar Games has taken towards addressing griffing in their communities. In 2022, they released an upgrade to Grand Theft Auto Online that sought to reduce instances of grifting, ensuring the ratio was only affected by kills, carried out during competitive gameplay. Grifting also been a consistent topic of discussion since Reddit Online release, with players sharing their experience on Reddit, Steam communities, and social media to express their frustration and, in some instances, wish some sort of penalty for grifters. Rockstar website further elaborates on the sentiment shared on X post, noting that to ensure a positive gaming experience, including a welcoming, fun, and fair environment for our communities, we encourage everyone to follow these basic principles and to adhere to our community guidelines. To adhere to our community guidelines. All right, so here are the details right here. Let me see. Following website. All right. The definition of grifting of what their fair play policy looks like, both to which can be seen below. Okay, fair play. All right, yeah, this is the part where, to me, I find to be a bit annoying, and I'm going to tell you two things that kind of annoys me here, and I'm very curious to know what your opinions or what your opinions are going to be. So let's just skip this. We already know what play fairing is, but cheating, gaining an unfair advantage by using cheats, exploits, hacks, and third party software. Look, I already understand that you're not supposed to be using any type of cheat codes or what do you call it, third party software, hardware, etc., etc. But the grifting is intentionally annoying another player or interfering with their experience and progress by using the game in unintended ways: spawn killing, stream sniping, driving the wrong way in a race with the intention to disrupt. I have a problem with this.
Hmm.
I have a true issue with this. I remember, especially when it comes to spawn killing, we've been dealing with that ever since the original. Well, I just say the original, but pretty much all the Halo, Call of Duty games, we've always had guys who were able to study their maps. For example, like look, there was a point in map in Call of Duty, right, where when you would play capture the flag. Now, in capture the flag, there were moments where players would study exactly where you would spawn, and they would constantly kill you over and over and over and over and over again, because they would be around that same vicinity of where you was going to respawn, and then they would obviously they would kill you. To me, that should not be on the player. That should just be on the game. That shouldn't be a player's issue. That's a game issue. You need to find a way to where, if players are going to study the game, study where you're going to be responding, knowing all the ins and outs of how to kill from far range, like that's not a player issue. And I think a really good example has always been the things that you and I even complained about before, where when it comes to quick scoping, that was in the game. And if people are able to find strategies to utilize something to their advantage, that's up to developers to change that, not the players. We should not be able, we should not be forced to adjust how we're supposed to play a particular game if we're able to find exploits. That's a developer's issue, not a player's issue. That's my first thing. Do you agree or disagree with that?
It depends on the situation. I'll give you a story. When I was playing GTA Online, and my favorite thing to do in the game was racing, because I felt like it was the most fair mode to do in the game. And what I wanted to do was deathmatch. Play a deathmatch where you can run around in a spot, shoot people, and all the other stuff. That mode became increasingly less fun because people would spawn kill you.
What
Like
game is it?
the GTA when I'm playing GTA Online, playing GTA 5,
Okay, okay.
they would just spawn kill you. You know
Yeah,
what I
because
mean? Like,
they know where you would be responding.
yeah, and it
Yeah,
made the game. They made the game not fun. They made the game not fun. It made that mode not fun.
Hmm.
So to me, it depends on what you're doing. It depends on the situation. Now,
No.
when it comes to GTA Online, like grifting, right? Like I'm reading it here. If someone is, spawn killing, which is sucks, stream sniping. Now, when it comes to that,
Yeah,
it's
that's
been so.
isn't that where you know somebody is streaming and then you're using
Mhm,
their stream against them?
pretty much.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. My bad.
And then driving the wrong way in a race with the intention to disrupt the race, right? Like people trying to race. To me, all that stuff to me is I don't know unless you're like actively harassing a random, like let's say if you're harassing a particular like player, let's say because you don't like them or whatever, that's why you have the report button. That's why you have the report button. If you feel like you're being harassed by a player, then that's why you have the report button. And if you report to them and they can tell that you're grifting or whatever, then it is their game. They have the right to choose what they do with you up to that point.
Now,
So
again, to me, this type of stuff is very subjective. I think, in my opinion,
mhm.
at least for for some of it, driving the wrong way. I the reason why I don't have an issue with that is because we do that by default anyway, where we are preventing the guy to get in front of you or preventing the guy, from passing you. And I know you're going to say that, well, when you're driving backwards and then, you're preventing, the guy from, from winning. In a way, you should be able to do what you want in any game that you own. You know what I'm saying? Like I just don't think you should penalize someone if somebody just wants to fool around and just go backwards on the racetrack. Uh, to kick him out and say, oh, you're banned or whatever punishment that he's going to receive. I just don't like it. I don't like it. I think to me, I think you're doing too much. You're doing too much. Now, the stream sniping, I don't know how you're going to be able to prove that somebody is stream sniping, because if the person is looking on the phone to where you're streaming, and or let's say he has a separate monitor and he's able to watch you, how can you tell if that person is stream sniping? How will you be able to determine that?
yeah, that's always tough. I know I've heard people complain about that in the past. My solution is don't stream. And if you're gonna stream with friends.
Stream with friends or do single player, like, yeah, I agree.
We didn't have to deal with this back in the day. All you had to do is you go online, you do your thing, and then if you dominate, you post it on YouTube. That's what we used to do back in the day. But overall, man, like when it comes to this stuff, it is what it is, man. Like I can't really get upset about it.
Really.
Nah, because like at the end of the day, if you don't want someone in there just being a dickhead online. If you're trying to do something and they're being dickheads to you, then that will get annoying. That will get annoying.
See,
Like spawn killing, that's annoying. That's
okay,
annoying. Like I don't give a shit about stream sniping and driving the other way type shit. Like I've never played a racing game where anyone would actively try to ruin a race. You have some people who bump into you and shit like that. You have some of that. In oh well, a perfect example. Gran Turismo. On occasion, I'll go online and do races in Gran Turismo. There are definitely people who try to run you off the road, but they have a penalty system that they get penalized for doing that, and you can report. that person, and then I don't know what happens after that. Maybe they might get a warning or whatever, but they do have a system in place to where, hey, you have to, this is a race. It's not fucking. This is not burnout.
Yeah.
We're doing an official race. Like if you're entering this mode, you know what the mode is. Then do the mode. Don't sit there and try to ruin it for everybody else.
Well, to me, I think okay, if somebody is purposely pushing you off the track, whether if it's Gran Turismo or Forza or whatever it is, Need for Speed, etc., etc. To me, I think the way um how you can handle that is you just you punish them in game, meaning that person is automatically disqualified in the game, and I think that would automatically hinder people from doing that.
Well,
So like,
you know what a bigger problem that I see is people who rage quitters,
yeah.
especially especially when there's like points on the line and there's a leaderboard on the line, and then you have people who just randomly rage quit because they don't want to take the L. Like I think that's a massive problem.
But I thought that, especially, I think you know, and I think in Street Fighter, I could have sworn if somebody rage quit, you still get the points.
Maybe that could be the case now, but it wasn't always the case.
Well, see, that's what I mean by you punish them in game. So if somebody rage quit, you still get the points. If somebody pushes you off the tracks and it's intentional, the game itself should be able to. They should um create something where the game will be able to identify that, oh, you're disqualified, so you're automatically in last place because you decided to run someone off the track.
And here's the thing: Gran Turismo has that, but it's not going to catch it all the time. It won't catch it all the time. So
Oh,
that's
okay.
why you have a report system. That's why you have the tools that they have with the DVR. You you can record it, you show it off to people, and then you have other people decide what happened. Decide what to do or whatever.
Yeah.
So you have multiple tools of handling certain situations. So yeah, I mean, I don't really have much else to say, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think the only thing I would definitely agree with them on is right here where it says the new community guidelines also outline general expectation to respect and encourage players to mentor newcomers and help others with missions gameplay, making clear that bullying, yeah, see, bullying I could understand, harassment I could understand, stuff like that is what you should focus on, and make sure that everything is peaceful, etc., etc. But if they're doing something like within the game, if they're able to exploit something that's within the game, and they study the map or they study the course or whatever it is, I don't think you should punish them for that. I just don't. I just don't really agree, because all you're doing now, you're just taking too much control. You're starting to act like Nintendo. That's what it comes down to. You're starting to act like more like Nintendo. You're taking too much control. Let people do, as long as you're not bullying people, harassing people, being a racist, towards someone. Let them have, and do whatever they want in their game. I mean, I'm just that's just me. So
I get what you're saying.
yeah.
I get what you're saying. Come on. Yeah. Right. All right. So let me ask you a question. If let's say you play Grand Theft Auto 6, right? Let's say you play the game, you like the game so much, it's one of your favorite games of all time. You're elated about it. You can't wait to talk to other people about it, right?
Yeah.
Would you want an option to give the developers more money?
Um, if I had the choice to do it, then I mean, I guess it's okay.
Oh, really? So you actually would be okay with doing it?
If they give me the choice, then I guess it would be okay. But I wouldn't believe them that it's actually going to developers. I think they're all lying when it comes to that.
Okay. Well, we'll do this quickly. Mike Ybarra, who used to work at Microsoft and used to work at Blizzard, and then left after Microsoft bought Blizzard. He suggested on Twitter, and I saw this tweet too. He suggested that players should be able to tip the developers of special games. Like okay, let me just I don't want to read all this. Let me read the tweet.
Yeah, the most important parts. Yeah.
Give me a second while the thing loads. Yeah, yeah. Just waiting for it to load. Load, damn you, load. Uh, yeah, like I said, my computer's been slow all day. I apologize. We're almost there. We're almost there. We're almost there. We're, we're almost there. Everything else is loading right now.
All right. So
Uh,
while the thing is loading up,
boom. There you go. There you go. Okay. You want to read or you got something to say?
no, no, go ahead.
Okay. So this is from Mikey Barr, right? I thought about this idea for a while. As a player, since I've been diving into single player games lately, when I beat a game, there are some that just leave me in awe of how amazing the experience was. At the end of the game, I've often thought, I wish I could give these folks another $10 or $20 because it was worth more than my initial $70 and they didn't try to nickel and dime my every second. Games like Horizon Zero Dawn, God of War, Red Dead Redemption 2. Now, mind you, let me also say this. Like he mentioned two PlayStation games. He didn't mention not one Xbox game.
Right.
Okay, he used to work at Microsoft. I'm just putting it out there. Alright. Horizon Zero Dawn, God of War, Red Dead Redemption 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Elden Ring, etc. I know $70 is already a lot, but it's an option at the end of the game I wish I had at times. Some games are that special. I know most will dislike my this idea. By the way, I realize we are tired of tipping and everything else, but I view this different from the pressure to tip type scenario many face and give feedback on. So that was his tweet. What is your thoughts about this?
All right. First off, look, um, his reasoning, like if you want to, tip somebody, I guess that's fine. But I think at the end of the day is a very stupid reason because at the end of the day, there are going to be microtransactions. I'm sure there's going to be ways for you to purchase, cosmetics, different weapons, all the other stuff. So they're already going to get additional money on top of the $70 that you already paid for anyway. They're
All right, but here's
going
the
to
thing:
get.
they're still creating content for you. That's the thing. They're still creating content for you. I think he's referring to after you beat the game. You beat the game and you just cash out them $20.
Well, I would need to know
Just cash out them 20.
who who are the one that's going to get that 20. Like, is it going to be a split from all the people of the developing team? Like how will that work? Or will you be able to choose? Because obviously after you beat the game, like how it is in movies, like you see all the credits, giving all the recognition to all the people who participated in making the game. Like, is it are they gonna have a feature like that to where you get to pinpoint and choose who gets the money? Like how is that going to work? I don't see how that's going. I
I
don't
don't
see
know,
how that's
man.
going. And look,
Um,
developers and he said that, well, we're getting tired of tipping. develop. In my opinion, at least I think so. I would assume so that these gaming developers, what if they're making games for phones or for PC or for console, they have a much far better living, or at least a much livable wage than a pizza driver, than an Uber driver, than somebody who's working at a server working at a restaurant or a busboy. They're making far much more money than they are. So I can understand why they you would tip them, because and besides, it's more personal when it comes to delivery drivers and servers. It's more personal. You see the person
You're taking
when
the
it,
actual person.
yeah. So with the developing team, I don't necessarily think that's just going to work. I think it's a silly idea. I think it's a silly idea. These guys are making they're making their money.
Here's the thing. For me, here's the thing. I'm always for supporting developers when they make something great. That's why I paid that's why I paid money to buy your game. That's why I spent $70 to buy your game.
Yeah.
Now here's the thing. If they wanted me to spend 80, 90, $100 on a game, if it's worth it, then I'll do it.
Okay.
If it's worth it, I'll do it. And and I feel like Mike is kind of like indirectly trying to say what a lot of developers are trying to tell everyone else, that 70, even today, $70 for a game is not enough for some of these games, especially with the game that he mentioned. He specifically mentioned single player games. He specifically mentioned that because those are the games that are normally you pay one price and that's it. He wasn't talking about Call of Duty or Fortnite or any of those other games, because those games are reliant on continuous play and then microtransactions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So he's only specifically talking about single player games, and those are the games that more than likely will cost the most to make and has the lowest return. Even if the game does very well, there's no guarantee that that game is going to make enough money for a sequel. No guarantee.
That's true.
So what he's indirectly doing by suggesting this tip option is that I think he's trying to let people know, hey yo, these games cost a lot more than $70, and we should be tipping these people. We should be paying a lot more for these games. That's what he's basically trying to say.
And your thoughts is what you
So
agree?
look, if the game look look, we can use Grand Theft Auto 6 as an example. I do not believe that game is going to be $70 at launch. Whenever it comes out, I think it's gonna be 80, 90, maybe even $100. I do believe that. Because Rockstar has the clout, they have the cachet to do it. Now, not every company can do it. I do think we need to have a more open pricing structure in the gaming industry. Right? Like if you feel like your game is worthy of 70, 80, $90, then you should be able to do it that way. And that's and it takes into account physical games versus digital games, because I guarantee you some games that are digital, they did that to save money. Now they have to pay. I think they have to pay whatever platform to host that game on their server and host that game on their platform. But I guarantee you that costs a lot less than manufacturing the games physically. Joe says dev teams don't see that money. DLC goes to the company's bottom line, not the talent. Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of what you were going with Steve when it comes to if they tip, who's gonna see that money?
Yeah. Who's going to see it?
Yeah, because let's say if I like the art style and I want to tip, let's say my favorite part about the game is the graphics. If I'm tipping money, I want to pay the graphic designer. But
Yeah.
the problem is you may have a graphic designer, you may have an assistant graphic designer, you may have a concept artist. Like you don't know where the rabbit hole goes. You don't know how far the rabbit hole goes.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And do I really want to tip everyone in the dev team? Like I don't want to tip the janitor. You know what I mean? I don't want to tip the intern. You know what I mean? Like it's a I look I get what he's trying to say. I get what he's trying to say.
Well, yeah, I mean, and the thing about what Joe has said, it goes to the companies, the bottom line, and not the talent. But it should be, because the same way how, and I'm just talking about the tipping part, because
Mhm.
the same way how in a restaurant business, we don't tip the managers. We
Mhm.
don't tip the general managers.
Nope.
We tip the servers. And then when it comes to these game developers, when it comes to these games, it should go to the people who actually took the time to make the game. The same way the structure should be the exactly the same way how it is in the restaurant industry. The only issue is like you said, who am I going, who am I choosing? Because in the restaurant industry, especially when it comes to the servers, they split the money. So if I'm going to put in 20 bucks, but there's like 50 people in the developing team, what you're gonna split $20 to like 20, 50, 30 people? Like, I mean, how does that work? Now, I'm pretty sure if the system like this actually is implemented in these games, more than likely you're probably gonna have a few thousand people that may want to tip,
Yeah.
perhaps.
Would you?
With me, would I?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know, man.
It.
I,
I'll put it to you like this. It depends on my mood. If I beat the game and I'm in a good mood, I'll probably shoot them a five. I'll probably shoot them a five. I'll probably put five on it.
but the thing is, we would have to probably do so much independent research to find out who these people are. Like
I'm
when,
not
when
doing that. I'm not thinking about doing that.
like seriously, when you finish playing the game, or when you finish watching the movie, do you actually take the time to read the whole entire credits? With the exception of
Fuck no.
with the
I
exception of, go ahead.
Cause here's the thing. I remember a long time ago when we had this big get together at. I remember we had the big get together at, I think it was like damn, what's that place called? Applebee's or something like that, right? And you were arguing with a couple girls regarding um watching credits at the end of movies,
Oh, I was
right?
arguing with.
Yeah, yeah. And I think I surprised you by saying that I agree with you. And the reason why I agree with you because I'm not watching. I didn't come to the movie theater to watch credits. I came to the movie theater to watch movies
Yes.
and be like, oh well, you don't have appreciation for the people making all the people behind the scenes, and like I do. That's why I paid money to watch the movie.
Yes.
I'm watching their work and play, but I don't need to sit there and look at the credits and be like, no, fuck no,
Yeah.
no, no. I'm good with that. Dolphy said that I don't remember, but some games do implement this concept through DLC.
They do.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But like for me, they're still creating something that they're offering for purchase. Like I think Ibarra is basically just talking about, hey, after the game's over, give us some money because because you like the game so much. And my thought process is I bought the game. That's why I paid money to play the game. That's why I like it so much. If I Because I like it so much, I paid money to buy it, and I
Is
will
that?
likely pay money
Hmm.
to buy your next game.
I mean, if they actually implement this into all of our games, as long as they give us the option to do it, then I don't necessarily have any complaint over it. There's nothing for me to get upset about. Um, but I know a lot of people are going to say, well, this is just greed, because I already had to pay $70 or $80, for a particular game, and now you're asking for more, regardless of who they go to. um it's but again, I'm not gonna sit here waste my time trying to figure out who am I supposed to be tipping. Like it's too much work. It's too much work. And because like you said, you didn't come here to watch credits. Now I know it's two different things, but when people actually sit down and look at credits, at least from my experience and the people who I've talked to in the past, they only care about the cast, the directors, and the producers. That's it. They don't care about the people who make the costumes. They don't care about the people who edit the videos and all the other stuff. They don't care about those people. All they care about are the directors, the producers, and the cast. That's it. The main stars. That's it. That's all you care about. And when it comes to these games, like there's hundreds and hundreds of people who are participating, trying to make this game good. If I don't know how I'll be able to figure out who I would want to tip, and even if I how even if I was able to figure out who they were, I guarantee you it's a huge list for me to go through to see who should get paid, and I'm not going to waste my time doing that. So I don't know how that would work.
So Rudolphi said that humble bundles don't do that. Don't do it. I'm not familiar with humble bundles, so I wouldn't know. But it's not, and they're not gonna do it for it. DLC money only goes to the EA, not the engineer. Stop making excuses and just say you wouldn't.
Oh, all
Wait,
right. Oh, okay. So
wait, is he referring to me or you? Because
he's
me, I say it depends on the mood. It depends on what mood I'm in.
all right. The first question I want to ask Joe, and I guarantee he's not going to answer because he knows I'm going to be right when I ask him this. Do you actually sit down and read every single person that gets involved of making movies or games, Jabanis? I'll answer the question for you. I guarantee you the answer is no. If that is the case, wouldn't you want, if you had the option to tip somebody, wouldn't you want to pinpoint and figure, okay, I like the, let me see, I like this graphic design on this particular character. I like how this person made Cloud or whatever. Let's just use Final Fantasy, as an example. You would have to figure out the developer that made that costume for Cloud. You would have to figure out who are the people who's in charge of the cosmetics department. Yes, that's going to take a lot of work to figure out who it was, unless there's just this huge pot of departments where it just says, okay, here's the graphics department, here's the engineer department, here's the voice acting department. Like, unless it's something like that where you only have a limited amount of choices, then I get you. But if it's like per individual, that it's going to take a lot of work to figure out who you want to pay. I mean, I don't think that's an excuse. I think that's just being reasonable, just using logic, I should say.
Yeah. So I mean, like I said, I don't want to shit on Mike Ybarra too much. I think he comes from a good place. Me, I just I'm paying money for your game, and to me, I just don't know if just tipping afterwards after you already paid money to play the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna help. But what they're literally trying to tell you through their action and through their words is that they want you to pay more for these games. And if the game's worth it, I'm willing to do that. I'm definitely willing to do that.
Even after paying 70.
No, I'm talking about like if I had to pay more than 70 to play the game, I would do that.
Oh, okay.
So on that note, I know you gotta go to the gym. I want to go to bed. So let's finish up here. Unless you have anything else to say.
No. I'm pretty much done. I appreciate you guys. Oh yeah, and by the way, once again, um, I think my logo is officially ready. I'll try to share it, with everyone, next week, as far as my new logo is concerned.
I don't understand why you have to wait to do a logo to start making videos.
No. I just want everything to be set in place. I just want to be organized with it. I want to make sure that I have all the things that I need to officially, be consistent, with my content. That's all. But
Yeah.
yeah, but all that, yeah, I'm gonna post it, next week. I would definitely like to have everybody's opinion on it. And yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to talking about stuff that I am forbid to talk on this channel. So so pretty much for all of you that have been asking me over and over and over again about why don't we talk about this, why don't we talk about that, don't worry. All the stuff that you guys want me to talk about in this channel, I will talk about on my own channel. Okay? So with all that being said, please give us support. Um Both? I'm not really sure what he means by that. Oh, he both of
Oh,
us. Okay.
yeah.
You see, he didn't answer my question. So yeah, that goes to show you that I was right. I knew it. Right, all right. But anyway, appreciate you guys for supporting us, that you still with us at this night, this day. This is the Transistors 101 signing out. Have a good one. Who we do the roll call.
All right, Joe. Thank you for watching. Rudolphi, thank you for watching. Critical Job, thank you for watching. Let me see. F, thank you for watching. Malta, thank you for watching. Joshua, thank you for watching. And I think that is it, unless I'm missing anybody. Oh, James, thank you for watching. Yes, yes,
Don't forget about Big James. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, so you thank you guys for watching. We'll be back next week with more topics, more debate. On that note, this is Who 186. We are out of here. Hold on a second. Hold on. I saw one more comment. I think I know what the comment is. Oh no, no, I didn't read it, and no, it's a team effort, so I wouldn't tip the crew. So I would tip the crew. Okay, okay, okay. I'm
Well,
not picking people
wait, you
out.
see, no,
Wait,
I
what?
was, yeah, I was gonna say, well, then you see what I mean. If it's you tipping a particular crew for a particular department, yeah, I'm pretty sure they're gonna have to split that money anyway. So then, yeah, you won't be able to choose which individual gets the money. But yeah, go ahead.
Well, if they're gonna do something like that, you will give it to your lowest level employees. You know what I'm saying? Like you would give it to your lowest level employees, the
You
people
think?
who are making the least money in that studio. At least that's how I would look at it.
No, okay.
Like I'm not picking people out. They all did something. It's not just three heads. That do everything. Again, I work construction. Everyone does something, so I'll drop 20, and they'll all dive in it amongst themselves. I don't care after I give the money. Okay, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Me, I gave them that when I gave them $70.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? I did that when I paid them $70.
that is fair enough.
All right, but on that note, let's get out of here. Let me get the outro out
You know
there.
what? You know what? Real quick, real quick.
Mhm.
Go to the full screen, real quick, because I'm actually interested to see what Jabon has to say about the art style. Remember the art style?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. Hold on. Let me get rid of this.
All right. So Jabon, do you like art? Do you like this type of artwork like this? Oh,
You have to get rid of get rid of the screen.
do you like this type, because this is the Street Fighter comic that I got brand new. Do you like this type of art style? And I forgot what the name of it. I'm pretty sure you might know the name of it. And or do you believe that this art style is better out of these two? Let me see if I could put it on better. Yeah, obviously this is the older one. This is the older one. Do you think this art style is better or this one? So I'm just very curious to know, what your opinion is. Who thinks that this one is better? To me, I feel like this type of artwork is too chaotic for me. I like it when it's just, plain, and simple, and it looks like a actual traditional, Street Fighter like it is in the games. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I like this one better. So, well, so anyway, if you're not able to answer, maybe you can answer on the Discord. So that's all I wanted to know. So yeah.
All right, later, guys.
Yeah, later.